But wait, hold on. Nope, we can't go live yet. Let's cut this out. We got to do this. Wait, where'd it go? Ah!
He's looking at you, kids.
I wish I knew how to quit you, Bond.
This being so James Bond.
There's no place like home.
I'm gonna make him an offer down with you.
Hello, one and all. Welcome to another exciting edition of Gone with the Wind. We're live, and so are our predictions. Well, they'll be live in a few seconds. You just gotta wait as I cue the music. See, it's not. We're live, so it's gonna be a little more off the cuff. It just kind of saves me time to prepare for Sundance and a little less editing. Plus, I want to make sure this gets out quicker because we're talking all things SAG nominations, the predictions anyway. Because the nominations come out this Wednesday, I believe, at 10 a.m. Eastern. So definitely switching it up a little bit. Because I remember once upon a time it was early in the morning, so they're probably pushing it forward for our East Coast brothers and sister film critics. Because, yeah, it was usually at the crack of dawn. So now they're pushing it back, which completely respect, and I totally understand. But we're going to sit some time and kind of talk about our predictions. And I have an esteemed panel here today, our regular four here that is willing to talk and ready to get things going. Malcolm, you are here.
I am.
You are here. I tried to switch up a little bit because I was like, can he still say his famous hello? But you did not, so I win. We also have Abe.
What's up? What's cracking? How you guys doing? I'm sad.
He's very sad for reasons not related to movies. Would you like to tell us why and why you're sad?
No.
No?
I'm going to cry if I say.
Okay, then let's not have you cry. And we're also going to have Dan. Dan, you are still there, correct?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I don't know what's going on with my camera. I'm trying.
Is it your webcam?
Cameras. Both of my cameras aren't working.
Both of your cameras are not working.
Yeah.
Well,
I never had this problem before. I never had this problem before.
I love the day that we decide to go live. This just decides to happen, of course. Well, You go ahead and keep figuring that out because we can still hear you perfectly fine. Then that's what's important at the end of the day. But today we're going to talk about, yes, the Golden Globes preface. They are tonight, and we will be discussing them in a second. But first, the SAG. SAG is probably the biggest precursor when it comes to the largest branch because it's the actor branch, and the actors make up a majority of the Academy voting body, and that can give us an idea of where the pushing is, where the love is being transferred. It can propel some performances and propel some ensembles to the forefront. Remember when Parasite won, that kind of cemented the fact that it was a real force to be reckoned with, not just with critics, but with the acting ensembles that we had there. But before we get into that, Malcolm, tell me, what have you watched this past week?
I've watched a few things. I watched The Tender Bar yesterday. It's a pretty good movie starring Ben Affleck. And I watched Broadcast News for the first time yesterday.
And what are your thoughts on those?
Broadcast News was fun.
All right. Short, sweet, and to the point. Abraham Flores, what did you see, sir?
What I watched? I watched 3 movies yesterday. I watched a 355, which I guess we don't have to talk about it because it's alright. I watched the Boku no Hero War Mission. It's okay. It's alright. But I watched The Lost Daughter yesterday. I really enjoyed it. I thought Ria Coleman was really good. I thought everybody, Dakota Johnson and the girl that I keep forgetting her name, that plays John Olivia Coleman. Yes, Jessie Buckley, that one. I'm trying. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I can. Since yesterday, I'm thinking remember her name, and I cannot. But I really enjoyed that. I think it's a good Maggie Gyllenhaal directorial debut. I don't want to say the greatness because Olivia Colman is a great actress, but I see people predicting her as a winner or as a possible threat. I don't know. I don't see it. that way. Maybe I'm missing something, but really enjoy the film also. So I had a triple feature. Well, two at the movies, one at home. Yesterday, which was pretty enjoyable. Before
Hey, that's a
Misery.
good day. Will you tell us what it was now? Are we never gonna know? You're never gonna tell anybody. Oh, okay, you did tell us.
The Cold Slush.
Moment of silence. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh. Well, I don't watch football really that much. So, Dan, what did you watch? Let's switch over back to the conversation.
Well, I'll tell you, a friend of mine on YouTube, his name is Ken. He runs a YouTube channel called Mid-Level Media, and he's doing Western Month this month. And so I have been kind of going along with him on Western Month, and I've watched a bunch of Westerns. Unforgiven, My Darling Clementine, Tombstone, High Noon, Pale Rider, Outlaw Josie Wales, High Plains Drifter. Also watched In the Heat of the Night. I did a tribute review for Sidney Poitier, which I've watched In the Heat of the Night a dozen times. It's just a phenomenal movie. So I haven't watched anything new again this week, but I watched a bunch of Westerns and In the Heat of the Night.
Well, that is okay, considering the fact that you basically have seen a majority of everything that has released just yet. So you have a little break, a respite, while some of us get caught up with everything. It's been a little light month, and we will. You mentioned Sidney Poitier's passing. We're going to get into that right after we tell what we've watched. We've lost a lot of famous people this past week. Or past 2 weeks at least. It's kind of staggering, honestly. But I haven't watched too many new things. I binge watched through The Witcher season 2, which I have not someone who ever played the games, nor have I read any of the books. I just kind of watched the first season on a whim, and I decided to, you know what? I've watched the first season. I liked it well enough. Let's see what the second one is. And I liked it just as much as the first season. It's nothing spectacular. I don't think it's anything in the terms of fantasy defying. Henry Cavill is fantastic. He as Geralt is just so interesting to watch. And, Freya Allen as Ciri is also really good as well, too. I think she's good with the material that she's given, but I'm curious about the world, and I love the fantastical elements. And I'm just kind of invested in it at this point, and I'm going to keep probably watching until it's over because I've already invested too much of my time, and I'm interested enough to continue with the world that they have created with The Witcher, enough to be able to be like, maybe I should play the video games, maybe I should read the books. I don't know, but where's the time for that? So I don't know.
I'm with you, Manning. I'm actually right with you. I just in the last week and a half to 2 weeks, I watched the entire Witcher, watched the entire Cobra Kai, and I'm 2 episodes into Boba Fett.
Oh, I still haven't watched the second one.
Yeah, I forgot I forget to mention TV. Sometimes you guys mention TV on here.
I only mention it after I finish, usually a series. But Malcolm, were you about to say something?
Oh yeah, I still haven't watched Cobra Kai. I'm protesting not watching it because people keep telling me I should watch it.
They push you to the edge.
You rebel, Malcolm. You
rebel scum, as they say. But I will say, I'm only going to talk about TV shows if I have actually seen them in their entirety for a whole season. I won't mention it because I think if you're looking at a single episode, you can talk about the merits of that one. But as a whole story, I want to be able to, be like, hey, I saw this over there. That's why I talked about Midnight Mass or Squid Game when I talked about it after I saw the entire series. I don't watch much TV. I'm very selective about what I watch when it comes to TV just because I prefer movies over TV. Nothing against TV. But what I was going to say was I think, honestly, The Witcher is kind of a fun, exciting, just nothing special. I think I appreciate the visuals of what they're trying to do. And another thing that I watched, actual movie that I actually did watch, was Summer of Soul. I actually finally saw Summer of Soul. It's been so long, it's been way too long in all honesty. But man, what a fantastic, like visually engaging, auditorily engaging, just an overall like beautiful tribute to a forgotten festival that literally was taking place at a very pivotal time when it comes to American culture and Black history. The way that Questlove directs this, and this is why I truly wish that Documentaries were in the running for best film editing, because the film editing on this is so intentional, so emotional, so gut punching, while they interchange from the actual film festival to actual news archival footage to the interviews of themselves of the people watching the festival for the first time since they performed it, because this was lost, as you've mentioned before, Dan. This footage was lost, so to be able to have this and let them view it and see their firsthand reaction is so amazingly powerful, and such a great directorial effort from Questlove. I forgot his full name, but I'll just call him Questlove because that's what he mostly goes by. It's just a beautiful, well constructed and crafted film, and I am really in love with this documentary. I'm catching up on some documentaries and foreign language films, which is why I watched Titan last time, but I'm catching up with as many as possible that I need to see, because that's kind of my big blind spot. And so far, man, people are going to have some hills to climb, because documentaries this year have been fantastic. Like from the ones I've seen so far, documentaries are kind of come to play within the same breath, and also The Rescue being up there for me personally. So Summer of Soul just kind of cements it as something else that's right up there. So I saw Summer of Soul.
We did have it as the winner of best documentary on the My Critics group. So I'm hoping I will say I voted it as second, and I voted for The Rescue to win, but it didn't win. So interesting. This is going to be, we might actually have a 2-horse race here in documentary. So we'll see. You know, it'd be nice to
watch both of them not get nominated because they're the front runners.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Malcolm. Yep. I was thinking about that very same thing. Watch Summer of Soul not get nominated. This would be a travesty.
It would be a travesty, because I think they do a really good job of interplaying archival footage, but also the interviews. So I don't see why the documentary branch, but who knows why they do what they do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, The Rescue has some interesting things with it. It has recreations, animatics. It has animatics. It has talking heads. It has old
of course
footage of the divers filming stuff. So it has various things going for it. The Rescue does, but I don't see, just because there's so much archival footage, you can't include Summer of Soul. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, Manning.
Well, no, I'm merely going off the fact that Apollo 11, which was like the front runner for a long time.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just arguing about these jagoffs that come up with this stuff. It's like, how can you determine what's good and what's not good because it has archival footage or it doesn't have archival footage?
Did the Apollo 11 documentary make the short list, or was it just excluded?
Oh, did it not?
I don't know. Because I was wondering, because Summer Soul did make the shortlist, so obviously it must be eligible.
That's a great question. I genuinely don't know. And I'm not going to speak out of turn by saying yes or no. I don't know. I can't remember. But that's a great point. It may not have even made it as far, which may have been telling. But one day, the documentary branch is to me the most interesting and fascinating branch, because I always want to go talk to a couple people and get a gauge of all right, why do you guys vote for these in particular? Because out of everyone, you're the people most likely to snub a front runner. Again, good on them for going against the grain and doing what they feel like is right. But when that happens more than once, then you're just curious. I may be alone in that, but I'm just curious.
Did Julia make the shortlist by any chance? No.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you, I thought Julia had some interesting ways about going, not just a straightforward talking heads documentary. So I recommend Julia if you guys haven't seen Julia. That's on that's on a streaming service, and I can't remember which one. Maybe
I don't know, actually.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
We'll look into that. I don't know off the top of my head.
We should make a documentary be at the documentary branch. It'll probably get nominations.
Yes, I would love that. That'd be fantastic, honestly, just to be able to have that and say like, so this is what happened. What happens when the documentary branch snubs 3, 4, or 5 different front runners? Find out now. Maybe it's a nightly news report. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm glad you got Summer Soul though, man.
Yes,
Good job
I'm very glad. I'm very glad. I put that off for far too long because it's been out for a while. And I just dropped my pin. I'm going to pick that up in a second because I'm going to keep writing notes upon this. I have my little notepad over here with all the notes for SAG that we're going to talk about. But before we get into that, we have lost people this week or this past 2 weeks, I guess, in particular, which to me, it's like we've lost Betty White on New Year's Eve, right before she was about to turn 100. To me, which is a very tragic thing to be able to say before your 100th birthday. Like,
yeah, the 17th of January, she was going to turn 100.
That's, to me, that's just like that I couldn't even imagine like what her family, obviously her death, because what her family is going through, but also based upon the fact that she was a staple. And I know that probably most people I seen when she passed said like, oh, she had to go out before the new year because she wanted to like look at 2022 in the face and then like say something snarky. Or I've seen stuff along the lines praising her wit, her quick-witted nature. And I think she was just a fantastic beacon when it comes to comedy, females in comedy, a pioneer in particular. So I know she's going to be missed because how many times was she just a legend in the sense of like, Betty White is going to live forever. We always talked about that. I know she wasn't literally going to, but I think I saw a lot of those jokes transpire.
I mean, she was one of the, if anybody could live forever, you thought, oh, Betty White's going to live forever. Yeah. George Burns, boy, did he live forever. I mean, he had a long, long, long career. Clint Eastwood seems like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, how many years
he's been old for his whole life.
He's in the 90s, in his 90s already. So, who knows? We got so many huge mega stars that are in their 80s, upper 80s, and late upper 70s and early. It's like, I'm telling you, this decade is not going to be a good decade for that.
No.
Because I knew it ahead of time because you got to start doing the math here. These people are getting up there. I mean, big name stars are getting up there. Directors, actors. And it just so happens this week was kind of rough with Sidney Poitier, Betty White, John Madden, Peter Bogdanovich.
I was about to say Peter Bogdanovich was another big one that recently passed. How old was he? I realize I don't have.
They said 82. I think they said 82.
The Last Picture Show.
Which
received 8 Academy Award nominations. Go ahead.
Because I know when 2020 was happening, COVID was raging, like there was all those memes saying, hide Betty White, hide Stan Lee, we can't leave.
Yeah. And we lost both of them, but neither to COVID, from what my knowledge is. They both died peacefully in their sleep, which was good. I'm glad that they had that. I'm glad they both lived long lives, and everyone so far who has passed away they haven't been, at least from what I've read, tragic. They've been older in age. Like again, as you said, Sidney Poitier, when he passed yesterday, I believe, like that is, in and of itself, just telling. And, also want to say, Eric, in front of the show, Eric Mueller said, rest in power, Betty. Yes. Agreed. Eric, 100% agreed. Like she was someone who was just an utter staple. And Sidney Poitier also passing, like the very first Black American to ever win, or Black man in general to ever just win the Oscar. So he cemented himself as someone who literally became a staple. He was someone who paved the way, and he did it with such grace and dignity that you look at his Oscar speech. I was looking back that, and he said this with such tact, and he had such class about him, but also whenever you saw him in his movies, he had such humanity about him. He never felt like, and no offense to some people like Clark Gable or Cary Grant, they always felt very much like, hi, this is me. I'm very much the classic actor. He brought Sidney Poitier brought a sense of just kind of human, along the lines of like a Jimmy Stewart in the way. We're very much a humanness about him, Yeah,
the thing is too, he won his Oscar for Raisin in the Sun, and I mentioned it in my review. he doesn't even get nominated for In the Heat of His Night or Look Who's Coming to Dinner. He doesn't even get nominated for those two films. Both of his co-stars get nominated, and one of them wins. And it's like, how does he not get nominated for In the Heat of the Night?
At least a nomination, you know?
I was like, what? And what? I mean, I don't know who. Would you say Rod Steiger's the star of that? I thought Sidney Poitier would be the star.
He's supporting.
Yeah, Steiger's supporting. So he was in the wrong category altogether. Steiger was, you know.
Category fraud always. Never. It doesn't go out of style.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, but the thing that I remember, Manning, is when Denzel. Was it Denzel Washington and
he won his Oscar.
Denzel Washington and Halle Berry both won the same year. They gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award that year. And so it was like that year was like this great year for all these amazing minority actors, you know?
Yeah, he was a staple from what he did. And just like Eric said, for Rest in Power, Betty. Rest in Power, Peter Bogdanovich. Rest in Power. Rest in Power.
John Madden, to me, was a staple in my house growing up as a football fan. I'll tell you that right now.
Yes. And again, Rest in Power, Sidney Poitier. They left their mark, and they will be missed. And I know you're right. We're going to have a lot more. So it's going to
be a rough decade. It's going to be a rough decade, man. I'm telling you right now. If you just do the math,
you're right.
It's like, how can these people live much longer? Some of these people are up there, and there's a lot of big name stars.
Which is interesting because I think there was a statistic going around that Gene Hackman is the last surviving star from that won an Oscar from the 70s and below, because he won for the French Connection back in the 70s. Yeah, so that is the first. I think that is the earliest winner that is still alive for Best Actor. I'm not sure about Best Actress, but I think that was in general. So yeah, it is going to be rough. It's going to be rough.
Burstyn, right? Ellen Burstyn's still alive. I know that.
She is.
She was in Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. So yeah, wow, I didn't know that. Jesus.
Yeah, Oscar winners though, so I'm not sure about he won an Oscar in that decade. I'm not sure if it still applies to those people who won it later and whatnot. But anyway, we're gonna move right along, away from a little bit of dire news or a little downer news into something a little more. Yeah, bad news, but into something that's kind of good, bad. I don't know. The Golden Globes are tonight, guys, and no one's going to be there. They're going to have no actors, no presenters, no celebrities, no critics, literally just the people themselves having their little party, their exclusive 100 critics party with maybe their plus one. And we're not going to have it televised whatsoever. They officially announced they will not be televising the Golden Globes, so we will not know, save for tweets that they send out at the end of the day, literally at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Didn't we predict this, Manning?
I think so. I can't remember. It's all blurred together.
Tom with the Wind predicted this last year when all this craziness.
Oh, the tweeting? Yeah, maybe.
They're not going to have a live show. They're just going to announce the winners
via press release or Twitter tweets.
I thought we predicted this. Gone with the Wind had this in the bag last year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go back and see that episode.
Yes, I go back and check, but Eric's right. I totally forgot the Golden Globes were tonight. Yes, they were in fact tonight, and I think everyone else forgot because, seriously, the Golden Globes this year, to me, had the same equivalence as a New York film, because they're literally critics. They're literally critics. They're not going to have anyone there to put their sway over. They're literally just critics. They have the same about sway as the National Critics Society or the New York Film Critics Circle. That's as much sway as they have, and we'll report on it, but at this point, I don't really know how much sway that they ultimately have because they're not really they got Snoop Dogg and that's all the celebrities they really have. It's kind of amazing how drastic their power.
Right.
Yeah, he couldn't.
Ben Affleck.
Denis Villeneuve. We love it. We love to see it. Okay, but we'll quickly talk along the lines. What are y'all's opinion right now on what the Golden Globes are doing? Because it really feels like they've kind of hit off into their little corner, little exclusive club, and they're going to announce it later. Again, we'll report upon it. But at this point, they're going to release it in like a press release tweet style, so there's no reason to kind of predict it. But I guess, Malcolm, thoughts on the Golden Globes and their maybe winners?
I'm just getting up the nominations because I wasn't prepared. But they're happening. That's kind of what's...
They are in fact happening, and they're not on Gold Derby, so you can't really predict them. So you got to kind of like look at them and be like, what might they do? Like, I totally expect them to go something like Squid Game for television. That seems like something they would do.
Squid Game. We're totally diverse. We let Squid Game win.
Yeah, I like Squid Game. I'm a big fan of Squid Game, but it's kind of interesting.
And it's awful.
It's the Golden Globes. I don't put much sway upon what they do. We'll wait till SAG nominations come out,
Yeah, I guess.
So, Dan, what are your thoughts?
Succession's the show of the year, like The Crown was last year. This year it's Succession. I mean, that should be the show that sweeps a lot of these drama categories. We're not TV people. We're movie people.
Agreed. We're TV.
Golden Globes. Look, I will tell you this. I would not take a single thing if Jared Leto wins something. I don't even know if he got nominated.
He didn't, surprisingly.
Okay, never mind then. I don't think we're even gonna. This year, the main thing we're gonna keep an eye on is Critics' Choice. I think there's more credence in the Critics' Choice this year than there is the Golden Globes. So I would just say, the Golden Globes announce their winners. We'll look and say, okay, the Golden Globes announced their winners. All right, ho hum. Even though they did bring 21 new members in, and they're up to 90 something members now, and some diverse members. John Campea said he qualified for the Golden Globe. He could have been a member of the Hollywood Foreign Press, but his quote is, "Look, anybody that would have me as a part of they must not be that good." So that's what he said. So he didn't join the Hollywood Foreign Press. But a friend of ours, a couple, Alicia Malone, I believe, is a part of the Hollywood Foreign Press.
Is she?
And she's a wonderful, wonderful lady. So. Yeah.
Well, no, from everything that I've seen, which kind of shocking the fact that she is, because I know they didn't get rid of any of the prior people, so I'm curious at how this is going to, once how the following year is going to transpire, what they're going to actually do. But I don't know what this is going to mean for the Golden Globes. Abe, what are your thoughts about the Golden Globes currently, and do you have any fun predictions about what we might we're not going to see anything, but possible winners?
Manning, this is the scripture on how much the Golden Globes really matter. They disappear for a year, nobody cares.
Yep.
And it's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're the punchline. I mean, I like watching them, Sometimes there's good monologues of the presenters. But
the host.
At the end of the day, they're the punchline of the award shows that we usually get. And it's true. And for predictions, I honestly, I don't care so much about them this year that I have no idea who is nominated.
Yeah, me neither.
I haven't even checked. Yeah, well, I honestly, it's like, you're not gonna, if you don't matter early. I mean, the thing is, they're the most, they publish. I'm trying to check websites to see a 4-year consideration ad if they announce any Golden Globe things, but I have not.
I have not seen anything. I have literally seen
that
nothing.
Says 4. Yeah, they say nominated to 3 Golden Globes, including Best Motion Picture Drama, whatever. And I haven't seen that in any posters, so I guess even publishers are getting away from that because they know they're not being televised. So,
I think a lot of the studios don't want to give any support to the Golden Globes until they sort out their shit, which they're still sorting out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty smart on.
No, that is, and I don't think that I truly don't think that we're going to have anything with the Golden Globes until we hear something more along the lines of them actively doing something. So, Malcolm, you said, did you have up the nominations?
I do have the nominations up.
Okay, just for fun, let's just we're gonna go through a quick rapid fire. What do they have in the movie side of things? We're gonna do a quick rapid fire.
Yeah.
Everyone, just give me your thoughts. Quick thoughts.
So for drama, they've got Belfast, Coda, Dune, King Richard, and The Power of the Dog.
I think it's Power of the Dog.
Yeah, Power of the Dog.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see Dune win this, but I mean, I think it's Power of the Dog.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, Power of the Dog, I think, is a heavy favorite here.
Or Belfast. Or Belfast.
Yeah, I think Belfast or Power of the Dog.
It is.
And this is a big upset like Coda coming out of nowhere.
That's true. They could go with a small indie feature.
For musical and comedy, we've got Cyrano, Don't Look Up, Licorice Pizza, Tick Tick Boom, and West Side Story.
3 musicals. I appreciate the fact that we actually have musicals this year.
What is it? Could you read that again, Malcolm, please? Sorry.
Cyrano, Don't Look Up, Licorice Pizza, Tick Tick Boom, and West Side Story.
I go for Licorice Pizza. That's just me.
I
agree with them.
I think they're gonna go West Side Story. I don't know why. I feel like that's something they might go. I know, Dan, you're not excited about that, and neither am I. But I think they're gonna go with West Side Story. I just have that gut feeling.
I mean, I'm inclined to think either Tick Tick Boom or West Side Story could possibly get it in there.
I'd be happy if Tick Tick Boom won.
I would also be very happy if Tick Tick Boom won that. However, they won't publicize it. If they want it, they're going to be like, cool. And they won't publicize it on their, as you said, Abe, for their consideration ads.
I mean, they might publicize it if they win.
Maybe.
But probably a case of like, the Golden Globes, like, then no one's going to see them. I don't think it matters if we get nobody nominated.
Really small print in the poster.
For best performance in a motion picture drama and actor, you got Mahershala Ali for Swan Song, Javier Bardem for Being the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch for Power of the Dog, Will Smith for King Richard, Denzel Washington for The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Well, I go for Will Smith.
Yeah,
but
there is no way they don't do that.
I've been hearing some whispers, which is really interesting, that Benedict Cumberbatch is catching up to Will Smith.
He is the critical darling right now. He's won the most critics by far.
Yeah, I mean, I think if anyone can pull off an upset, I think Benedict Cumberbatch is the one that could do it.
Agreed.
And for motion picture drama actress, we've got Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter, Lady Gaga for The House of Gucci, Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos, and Kristen Stewart as Spencer.
I will tell you guys. I go for Spencer, but you know who's been doing a lot of press lately? Jessica Chastain for the 355. But what is she? She's shoehorning into these conversations. Tammy Faye, bringing back it into the consciences.
I was thinking about that when I saw the headlines of $5 million opening weekend for the 355. For me, that's the killer for Jessica Chastain's chances of getting an Oscar nomination or whatever. Like, her face is in every poster.
It's a killer.
That movie. I mean, not a killer, but it's harder. Like, you just, they see you, they associate it with that, whatever it's true or not, that it's your whole fault, or it's at the studios, the quality, it's Simon Kimber, whatever. Her face is in the front of posters, and when you have a $5 million opening, like right at the beginning of January, probably does not help.
Nobody takes things that come out in January serious.
Thankfully.
What's the theory about what's the name of this guy? Oh my God, I forgot. Eddie Murphy losing the Oscar because of what's the name of where he plays a fat lady and the guy
Norbit.
Oh, Norbit.
Yeah, so just think about it. Those things don't affect your things. Well, that's the theory. I don't know if you can confirm it or not. But
well, here we'll save that discussion along the lines when we get to SAG. In fact, actually, just go to the next one, Malcolm, and then we'll go directly into SAG because I think that's where the meat of our discussion is going to be. So, what is the next actor one? The next 2 actors, I guess.
Yeah, For best performance in a motion picture musical comedy, for actor you got Leonardo DiCaprio for Don't Look Up, Peter Dinklage for Cyrano, Andrew Garfield for Tick Tick Boom, Cooper Hoffman for Licorice Pizza, Anthony Ramos for In the Heights.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, it's either Peter Dinklage or Andrew Garfield. But the way things are going, it seems like Andrew Garfield might pull away on this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that I wouldn't be surprised if Golden Globes do their Golden Globe things like, well, Anthony Ramos is probably not going to win the Oscar or get nominated, so we'll give him the win here. Why not?
That'd be crazy.
They might just do it for fun. You don't know.
They always have one weird, off-the-wall, crazy winner.
And personally, I prefer Anthony Ramos from In the Heights and Andrew Garfield and Tick Tick Boom.
No. That's my favorite male performance of the year. How dare you, Malcolm? Go. I'm going to kick you out of the chat if you say something like that again.
Well, the thing is, and they're both movies based on something that Lin-Manuel Miranda is involved in. One is a director, one it's basically his story growing up.
Yeah.
On the actress side of things, you got Marion Cotillard for Annette, Ilana Heim for Licorice Pizza, Jennifer Lawrence for Don't Look Up, Emma Stone for Cruella, and Rachel Zegler for West Side Story.
I'll be honest, guys. I know this might. I don't know if this sounds good or bad, but I'll tell you, I would. Ilana Heim. I'm going for Ilana Heim here, but I could be completely wrong.
No, Yep, I know. When we get to SAG, I will talk more about that, but I agree. But oh man, how fun would it be if they just were like, let's just give it all the chaos and Emma Stone, here's your Golden Globe for Cruella.
Oh god, that would be crazy.
Yeah. And then the other acting one we've got supporting performance in a motion picture. Supporting actor you got.
Oh no, go ahead, Malcolm.
Supporting actor you got Ben Affleck for The Tender Bar, Jamie Dornan for Belfast, Kieran Hines for Belfast, Troy Kotsura for Coda, and Cody Smith-McPhee for Power of the Dog.
Yeah, I'm thinking Cody Smith-McPhee. Wow, this might actually be the only category so far of all the categories you've read off, Malcolm, that might be the true what we're going to get for the Academy Awards. In my opinion.
I do think they could go that, but this is also the Golden Globe, so I can totally see them also trying to go for like a Ben Affleck. Because
that'd be nice. But Troy Kotsur,
I know you'd be happy about that.
I think Troy Kotsur,
yeah.
Man, they like an underdog at the Golden Globes. I do notice they will pick an underdog once in a while, and Troy Kotsur seems like he checks that box.
I mean, talking about underdogs for supporting actress, you got Catriona Balfe for Belfast, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, Kirsten Dunst for Power of the Dog, Anjuan Ellis for King Richard, and Ruth Negga as for Passing.
I think for my money, I think it's down to two, and I'm going to go with Ariana DeBose, but I think it's down to her and Anjuan Ellis for King Richard. Those are the two front runners in this category. I'd be happy if it's either one of those, because DeBose to me was the best thing about West Side Story, and I love Anjuan Ellis as the wife, and that one scene where she's sticking up for herself and what she's done for the kids, to her husband, that's really her kind of award season moment. So that's either one of those I'd be happy with. But Dunst, I would not be upset with if she won. So this is actually a good category.
This is the category I have like the hardest time trying to predict who's gonna win in anything, because it's like, there's no clear front runner. I agree with that. With Adriana DeBose, Ariana DeBose. I don't know how you pronounce it correctly.
Catriona Balfe. Right. Catriona Balfe for Belfast is good. This is a really tough category.
I haven't watched Belfast, so I have no opinion about it.
And I mean, like, even if you predict that the Globes are going to go for the underdog, there's about 3 underdogs in here, like Balfe, DeBose, and Andrew Ellis, who could get in there if they go for the underdogs. So.
No, and but yeah, we'll leave it there for the Golden Globes because I know there's a couple more like song score and whatnot, but at this point it's just kind of for fun and there is no sense. I don't think they're going to have much impact at the end of the day this year for the Golden Globes until they get themselves televised again. So we're gonna get to the meat of our discussion: what the thumbnail says we're gonna be talking about, what the title says we're gonna really be talking about, and that is SAG Predictions. There are truly 5 categories we're going to sink our teeth into and try to figure out who do we perceive is the front runners for these categories. Who do we perceive to be locks? Who do we perceive to be safe? Who do we perceive to be possible wild cards? So we're going to start from the bottom until we get back to ensemble. So we'll go supporting actress, supporting actor, lead actress, lead actor, and ultimately we'll get to best ensemble. We can do stunts as well. I haven't wrote notes down that, but you know what? Let's. Okay, is there a stunt category right now for? There's not a stunt on category to predict right now for at Gold Derby, so let's not do that one because I'm over here like, wait a minute, there never was one. There's a lot to choose from.
Did they take that category out?
I think they took it off of Gold. I don't think they do it until. No, wait, they did take it off. Where in the world? Now I'm over here questioning everything.
So we're doing supporting first. Are we're going to take turns on these?
Yes, what we're gonna do is we're gonna each take care. We're each gonna take one. I'll start off with one. I will do supporting actress. Malcolm, you do supporting actor. Dan, you do lead actress. Abe, you do lead actor. I will end with film ensemble. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a discussion when it comes to who we perceive to be locks, but we're going to start off by saying, what are your nominations? So I'm going to tell you what I think the nominations are going to be, and then I'll kind of lead the discussion about who do we think the locks are? Who are safe? Who are the people we expect to see? But then there's going to be the category about who do we think may miss, and then finally, who do we think is right on that edge and that, you know, could be that last 2 spots. And then we can give out like who is the wild card of like who's never going to have a chance, but could come out of nowhere left field because why not? So there's kind of 4 categories how I see them. I actually wrote that down. So we're going to have best supporting actress, which I will start us off with. We have safe, sort of safe, wild cards, and then outside looking in. The people who are going to be outside until they come crashing through the window when we least expect it. Mm-hmm. All right. You ready for SAG predictions, y'all? Bet your money right now. All right, so this is who I have I think is really safe. These are the people that I think are safe and that I'd be surprised if none of us didn't have them or if all of us didn't have these 3 people. Ariana DeBose, Kirsten Dunst, or Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, Kirsten Dunst for The Power of the Dog, and Anjanou Ellis for King Richard are the safe. They have the safe category. What I have for sort of safe, my 4th one, Catriona Balfe, Belfast. The reason I have her as sort of safe is because I feel like Belfast has lost steam recently. I haven't really heard much about it in the way, but I still think she gets in. But I have not heard as much passion for her as I heard for the other 3, at least. And now we're getting to the wild card section, who I believe the people who could be fighting for that last spot. And my 5th one right now, I'm going out on a limb. She has not been nominated for anything just yet, but this movie's doing really well. I think we have Marlee Matlin getting in for SAG because she is well-liked among the acting branch. And Troy Kotzer could bring her in, especially if Coda is getting ensemble. So my 5 again as follows are Ariana DeBose, Kirsten Dunst, Anjanou Ellis, Catriona Balfe, and Marlee Matlin for Coda. So I'll leave the floor open for discussion. What do y'all think? Do you think there are like genuinely 3 locks, or do you guys think there are any locks whatsoever?
I agree with your locks 100%. And I agree with Catriona Balfe as the potential 4th. I just have a different 5th, and that's where the 5th could be literally anybody. And I did take Marlee Matlin out earlier today and put somebody else in. And I put in Endowed. Dan, don't you give me hope. Don't you dare give me hope, Dan. You're giving me hope. I don't like that. I was on the Marlee Matlin train for so long, and just today I took her out and put an Endowed.
Do you genuinely think she has a chance?
Well, all I know is look, I'm going off of my critics group, and we had Endowed win Best Supporting. So I'm just going off of one little slice of people that potentially, and maybe there's other people out there that could just get it, and maybe that first group, that domino that could fall that shows Endowed deserves this is SAG.
But yeah, like I agree with Kristen, Ariana, and Andrew, Andrew.
Ingenue. Think of it, ingenue.
Yeah. But for my other two, I agree with Dan on Endowed. I've got Endowed in my 5.
Oh,
and just
God,
as a wild card, because I just watched this for the first time, just recently. I actually threw Ruth Negga for Passing in there because I thought she was really good in there.
Good choice. Quickly, Brian Nussbaum said, I agree with the 4. Maybe we could see Moreno. And she is currently in, I have a little section I call the outside looking in, which is, scratch that. She's in my wild card section, which is Ann Dowd, Ruth Negga, Marlene Matlin, and then Rita Moreno. So you're right, Brian. She has a possibility because of the legend that she is. Abe, what do you have for your 5 right now?
So you tell us, have the predictions ready. Guess how many I have? I have 5. Then you come on with these 3 different categories, man. Give us the right note, man. But whatever. That's my little rant.
What category? Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, no. I just do it personally along the lines. I'm not saying you guys have to follow that.
Yeah, but okay, I agree with the 3 said about Ariana, Kristen, and Miss Ellis. I'm gonna call her Miss Ellis because I'm not gonna try to pronounce
Ingenue.
Okay, perfect. Ingenue. I also have Marlene Matlin, and that's because, well, I guess that's the end of the discussion later because I had Cora in Ensemble, and that will make sense for somebody to get in one of those categories if you get in Ensemble. Even though Black Panther won Ensemble without a nomination, I believe, right?
Yes, correct.
So that may be it. I also I have an doubt. Why? Because I haven't watched Belfast, and I don't have this connection about.
So you don't have Belf?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't.
Do not have
I don't
Belf.
see her. No, at this moment. I will have Rita Moreno also. I will consider Moreno. But on top is, it's a better actress. She has been there for a while. She may be liked by her peers, so that may help her in the race, if you want to call her.
No, I agree. Which then I'll
also,
bring the
Mass
cases
is really good.
Yeah, I know, right? Mass is fantastic. Everyone, go see Mass. It's now available for digital. Go see it. Also,
$5, Amazon Prime.
I wish I could see it. It's not out here yet. Apparently.
It's not even out on digital?
No. Well, I mean, it doesn't come out on digital for us until it gets a theatrical. But
that is so disappointing. Holy cow! I'm so sorry, Malcolm. You are missing out on a fantastic film in Mass. Anyway, but no. Okay, so Brian gives an excellent point. We could see Moreno. I agree. I think we all have our locks of DeBose, Dunst, and Ellis, and we'd be shocked if any of them missed. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but Brian gives a great point about we could see Moreno. Do you think that is possible? I don't have her, but I'm debating that because she just won a SAG Lifetime Achievement Award recently. She is well loved within the community. And do you think of the actors? And do you think that we could have a double? Because I don't think the DeBose is missing. So I think if she's getting in, you're getting 2 West Side Story ladies.
No.
You don't think is there a possibility? No. I should say.
Have the SAGs done a double nomination before for movies, or is it mostly been
yes.
one for movies?
They did it for the last one for lead actress, supporting actress last time was for The Favorite 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But they were kind of like a package
deal. Everywhere was doing that, right? For The Favorite.
Well, critics did it. Don't forget, critics did it. And I was like, really? Because I don't think her performance is that great. No offense to Rita Moreno. It's fine. It's nothing
critics
memorable.
Did 2 for West Side Story?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a man's role too in the original West Side Story.
Doc, yeah.
So,
see, well, I don't know. What do you think?
I could see it happening. It's the same argument. Like Rita Moreno is well like about because around everywhere. Because watching Man in the first performance and everybody, I mean, from every interview I've seen with her, and when people refer to her about in certain, interviews, media stuff, if somebody watching
Of course.
YouTube, everybody loves Rita Moreno. Twitter loves Rita Moreno. So I guess I wouldn't bet $1 that she doesn't get in.
If anybody
That's my
jumps
argument.
out, I mean, I think maybe Catriona Balfe could be not, and Rita Moreno could get in. I mean, I don't. I mean,
True.
I don't think Belfast has started to kind of lose some steam a little bit. So who maybe it's like that name, maybe like Catriona Balfe. Don't know who
Who's
that
that?
is. Maybe
Because I don't
rather
think
than somebody that is a marketable name or a name that they know.
is Outlander. Was that ever nominated for SAG? I don't remember. Because if she's not someone who's been nominated prior, because I know Outlander, while it has a big film Twitter following, I don't really know when it comes to the long of like.
That's who Catriona Balfe is.
Oh, Malcolm just discovered it for the first time.
I've been hearing the names. Like I've not seen Balfe. I've not no idea who this is.
I watched the first season of Outlander, and she's great in it. So
okay.
Also, that's on a network.
Infinite Jeff says Catriona Balfe is the snub. So
that's on a network that isn't like the biggest network. That's,
no, it's not.
What's it called? What's the network?
Stars.
Stars. It's not like.
No.
I mean, you got to really search it out to know about Stars.
So, but I feel like because she gives the best performance in Belfast, in my opinion, I think she has the most to do in Belfast, and I think she gives the best performance. So it'd be a shame if she didn't make it in, and you had both the other Belfast boys make it in, as we've called them affectionately before.
Yeah.
But it's a possibility.
I could see all three not even getting in.
Really?
But, yeah. Well, I got best supporting actor right here. If you want me to read it off, but I mean. I will tell you, I have one in my predictions, but I could see all three of those three not getting. I think there's a narrative where all three of them can miss because I think Belfast is starting to lose some steam.
Okay, Infinite Jeff confirmed that she was not. Catriona Balfe has not been nominated for a SAG before, so that confirms that. And yeah, I personally think that I see it with Coda doing so well, Marlee Matlin, but I would love you guys, if Ann Dowd made it in, guys, and you just manifested that and just prayed that into existence, I will be so happy, but I'm too scared to predict it because I love that movie and that performance too much to do that. I'm going to hold out hope. Another one that I want to say, Ruth Negga in Passing would be great. I think that movie sadly has gotten, really, it's sad. I love Passing so much, so it just really hurts. And then other outside looking in performances I got Meryl Streep, Don't Look Up, because never doubt Streep. Judi Dench in Belfast, Jessie Buckley in The Lost Daughter. If they really like The Lost Daughter, they could possibly bring her in. Cate Blanchett, Nightmare Alley, because she's Cate Blanchett, and then Martha Plimpton for Mass. And again, that last part is hope. It's hope. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm hoping. I'm praying. But while Mass has translated very well to the critics and has swept ensembles, I just don't think it's going to translate as much as I want to. And I've accepted that fact. I've accepted it. Go ahead. Go ahead, Malcolm.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. On the note of Ruth Negga, how great of a story would it be if Ruth Negga gets the win at the Globes, then that manifests nominations down the board for Ruth Negga to get in everywhere? Well, it'll be the one good thing the Globes could do this year.
That's true.
She's been nominated before, so they like her in Loving. I mean, I'm saying, not SAGs. Oscars nominated her in Loving. So I don't know who else may have nominated her, and if she got nominated for a SAG in Loving or not. But she was nominated. She's been in the consciousness in some awards seasons in the past, so people know Ruth Negga. So the name isn't like a Catriona Balfe or anything like that. She's around. She's been around. I
don't think she got in for Loving.
She was nominated for an Oscar for Loving, but
also Jeff. Go ahead.
Was.
Yeah, she was nominated for SAG.
Was nominated for Loving. Am I getting lost? Oh, for SAG?
For SAG. Yes, for
Well, I
SAG.
don't know about
She
SAG.
was.
I just say she's been. Loving was a big thing. She
Oh, look
was
it up.
getting a lot of buzz for that. So
Also, Infinite Jeff agreed with the dude who said Belfast may die here, and I think that's you, Dan, who could see them snubbing Doran and Balfe, but still making Ensemble and Hines. That's perfectly plausible. That is perfectly plausible, I think. But before we move on, we're gonna check to see if Ruth Negga has made For Loving. Did she get?
She got an Oscar nomination.
yeah, I said that. Yeah,
She missed. She got
She
a.
missed SAG by the looks of it.
She missed SAG. She did not get a
Okay.
SAG. She got
All right.
critics and she got Golden Globes, but she did not get SAG.
so this
So
could
I
be a
think
makeup for not giving her a nomination for that loving.
listen, if she made it into, I would be very ecstatic. But
But I mean, you only have 5 spots. I mean, who? It's hard. It's such a difficult. You don't remember way back when we were like, who do we got for Best Supporting Actress? And now all of a sudden we got way more than we know what to do with.
I know, right?
Although that being said, she's been nominated a lot in the critics groups for passing, so there's a good chance she could sneak in there.
That'd be good.
Because I mean,
I'd be not opposed to that.
I think she's been nominated a lot more in the critics groups for passing than she was for Loving.
No, you're right. She has. What I'm looking at right now, just from a tally standpoint, it looks to be the case. But again, I'm not going to hold my breath because although Loving didn't do that much either, now that I'm thinking about it, it really kind of lost steam, just like Passing is. Maybe they love her enough to give her a nomination. Maybe we're all just completely. Maybe she's the surprise 5 and we don't know it. I would love that. But
hey, I love the surprises. I'm not, my predictions are my predictions, but whatever. It's not like I'm gonna die on my cross for my predictions.
No, please don't die on a cross. And finally, Infinite Jeff says, "Watch out for Meryl." Ugh, I don't think Meryl Streep's gonna.
She's funny. I'm telling you.
She's fine.
I will say this, and I'm not the biggest fan of this movie. This is actually one of the better performances she's given in some of these awards contending things she's got in for, like Foster Florence Jenkins. What was it? In the Woods. I hated her in that. I like her in this. Is the crazy?
I know you do.
I actually thought she's pretty good in this, but whatever. Her son now, Jordan Hill. Now forget about him. Did anybody?
Yeah.
By the way, did y'all stay through the credits of that thing?
Yes.
All the way through the credits. Every credits. You stayed through every credits
to the very end.
That he freaking lived. I'm like, are you kidding me?
We won't spoil anything else, but it's a very last in credit scene, so look to that. All right. So finally, we're gonna name out our final predictions before we move on to supporting actor. For best supporting actress, for me, I have Ariana DeBose, West Side Story, Kirsten Dunst, Power of the Dog, Anjanou Ellis, King Richard, Catriona Balfe, Belfast, and Marlee Matlin, Coda, with maybe hopefully Ruth Negga for Passing. Fingers crossed. I don't know. Malcolm, for you.
Yeah, for me, I went Kirsten Dunst, Ariana DeBose, Anjanou Ellis, and Dowd and Ruth Negga.
And for you, Dan?
I have Ariana DeBose, Anjanou Ellis, Kirsten Dunst, Catriona Balfe, and Ann Dowd, with possibly a Marlee Matlin or Ruth Negga down.
That would not be bad at all. And then Abe.
Marlee Matlin, Dowd, Ariana DeBose, Kristen Dunst, and Anjanou Ellis. No,
Anjanou.
I'm getting that.
Think of new.
Anjanou. Okay.
I love how the tables have turned for this one name, and how you're the one correcting me so much, and this is the first time. Although watch me be completely wrong, and every time I've heard it, it's just been like wrong. So you know what? Oh well. Anjanou Ellis. Hey, keep her name in fact. She's gonna. I don't think she's gonna miss a precursor. You're gonna hear it now. I think she's being carried in, but also just on the strength of her performance. So, and also quickly, Infinite Jeff agrees. Anjanou Ellis wins here, in my opinion. Maybe there is no front runner, so we're gonna see. All right. So Malcolm, tell us supporting actor.
Oh, I thought I was doing supporting actor.
Oh wait, who's no? It's Malcolm. You, it's Malcolm, Dan, Abe, me. So you're next after.
I'm doing Best Actor.
You're doing Best Actress.
I'm doing Best Actress. Oh, okay.
Actress.
I don't know why I had my thing queued up for Best Supporting Actor this whole time.
Well,
all right,
get it ready to be queued up for because you will need it.
All right, for supporting actor, I've got Cody Smith-McPhee, Kieran Hines, Troy Kotsur, Bradley Cooper, and J.K. Simmons.
Ooh, interesting.
Wait, do you not? So you don't have Jamie Dornan?
Nope.
No.
Oh, okay. All right, so.
I mean, I've also never seen Belfast, so.
Fair. That's fair. Wait, did you have Balf missing, or was that Abe?
I had Belf missing as well.
Okay, so that is okay. That you are the one who only has you have Hines and you may have Ensemble. I don't know. We're gonna see. So yeah, for me, interesting. So I want to bring up the query. Do we? And this is the biggest thing. And I know we talked about this supporting race when we had Daniel Montgomery from Gold Derby on. Shout out to Daniel and to Dan for getting him on. What are our locks for this? Because do we see the Belfast boys making it in? Because again, as I was saying, we look back, double nominations. I have the stat ever since we had the expanded. If I can find it, I'm going to find this stat and I'm going to take it with me to my grave. Statistically speaking, we have had more double nominations from movies, or I guess double dipping nominations from movies since the expanded, and we have not. So,
I mean, yeah.
Well, the thing is, I think, and I will stick by this. I think you're going to get one of the Belfast boys, and I think the one who's been falling off is Jamie Dornan. I just think Kieran Hines seems to be more in the public consciousness, and he's kind of Dornan's singing the song, okay, and he's and he's got that moment. But I think Hines has got a lot of those little moments, like the interactions with Dent, the interactions with Judy.
I agree.
Hill, and I think he's got more of a kind of a full character arc in the movie for a supporting, and that's the kind of thing you want to be nominated for Best Supporting Actor. And that's why I think not that I hate Dornan, because I love the movie. Made my top 15 of the year, Belfast, and Dornan's great. But I think Hines, plus you're in a lot of times you're rewarding an actor for all the work. Go look on this guy's filmography and TV and movies. I mean, he's in everything. He's been in all kinds of stuff.
He's a well-respected actor.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a career achievement type of thing for Kieran Hines. That's just my 2 cents on it.
Well, I'll quickly add. Oh, Malcolm, go ahead.
Yeah, no, what I was about to say is, like, for me, like, I think if a movie gets double nominations, I think there's probably more chance and could be Power of the Dog. Because I think Jesse Plemons has popped up a few times in some of these critics groups. So I think if anything that gets a double might be Power of the Dog over it, even though I didn't predict it myself. I think the two, at least the 2 locks is probably Cody and maybe actually Troy Kotsur. I think with Belfast losing steam, I think there's a good chance both could miss here.
Which I will point out also too. You're the right mind, Jefferson. The double switches to Power of the Dog with Plemons plus Smith-McPhee instead of Belfast. That will be telling about which way the winds have shown. If the quote unquote frontrunner Belfast boys duo is losing steam and it's just Hines and not Dornan. But Brian also asked which Bradley Cooper role though, because he was in 2.
Well, the only one he's supporting is Licorice.
Correct. Yes. Unless there's a 3rd movie.
In my group, critics group, which I'm not gonna knock these guys.
He won.
I'm like, are you kidding me, guys? Come on. He's in like 8 minutes of the movie. And it's like some wild, wacky, crazy thing. That's no. Why are my critics group picked him? I have no idea.
Now, I will say there is a chance, though, just because that is a great 10 minutes of his. That's a great 10 minutes that he has in that area. So I will say there is a possibility. He is one of my wild cards because right now what I have for safe is Cody Smith-McPhee, Kieran Hines, and Troy Kutzer. I just think Troy Kutzer has appeared in too many things to be snubbed. I could be wrong. Watch me be wrong when it comes to that. But I just think Hines is. I think Hines is also going to be the sole representation. If Dornan and Balfe missed, I will not be shocked. But if Hines missed, I will be very shocked because I think he's building that steam as from what he's currently in right now. And Troy Kotzer, I think, is going to be the representation for Coda at the Oscars because we'll see.
I got the same two. I got the same two as my two locks: Troy Kotzer, Cody Smith McPhee, and then I got my next in line, Kieran Hines. I'm pretty confident Kieran Hines is going to get it.
Yes.
And then I have two, like Malcolm did the last time on supporting actor. I have two kind of outside people that I think might get in because I just think there's a narrative for these two people. But we'll see. I want me to tell you what those are right now.
Please, go ahead. Yes.
Ben Affleck for The Tender Bar, which I've been championing Ben Affleck for The Tender Bar for a while. But you know what would be crazy is if Ben Affleck gets in for The Last Duel instead.
That would be amazing.
I mean, he deserves it. He deserves it for either one of these movies. I mean, he's really good. I mean, you could make a case that if anybody deserves to be in this, Ben Affleck does for either one of those two movies.
I mean, talking about double nominations,
how
crazy it would be if Ben Affleck gets in for both the Timber and the Last Show.
That would be wild.
As a double nomination,
didn't they pull that at BAFTA? Like BAFTA, I remember 2 years ago they got Margot Robbie in for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Bombshell, and I was like,
"Yeah." And
no, there's no way.
Come on, no.
There's no way. Bombshell, sure,
but he actually deserves to be in for both. And if you haven't seen The Last Duel, I'm telling you, it's on Blu-ray in 4K right now. You can rent it VOD anywhere you want to watch.
If you're outside the States, it's on Disney Plus.
It's a great film. And he's really good in it. He's just playing like a scat, a cad. You know what the word cad is? He's really like a cad. He's just such a nasty character. But and Jason Isaacs.
Okay, yeah, no, I listen. Your and out optimism made me very excited. There is no way Jason Isaacs is making this.
He might not get in, but there's such a narrative of he's not getting in, he's not getting in, he's not getting in. Oh, let's put him in.
Dan, you know how much I love Mass and how excited I would be if Jason Isaacs would make it in. You know how much my heart would sing.
I know.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
I know. I mean, I feel like if you're gonna put Ann Dowd in, you got to put him in because they're the two best of that movie, and they really deserve this is what a true supporting actor
ensemble
is. Because you're in an ensemble, and you're all equally acting your parts, and you work together to create a great story, script, and whatever. So, I mean, if you're going to put Dowd in, you got to put him in my opinion. But you get like looking inside, looking out. I mean, looking outside, looking in. Mike Feist for West Side Story. Somebody that I had number one for a long time, but now has just dropped off the face of the planet.
I know what you're going to say.
Richard Jenkins. I'm like, man, I thought it was going to be his year, man. I don't think so now. And of course, we got Jamie Dornan, which I love him, but I don't think it's his year. I think that's just wishful thinking. But that second Power of the Dog, Jesse Plemons, much better chance of him getting it, in my opinion.
I mean, okay. Well, first off, Abe, I want to bring you into the conversation. What do you have for the 5 currently right now? And do you have any people that you consider to be locks or people that are kind of like on the outside looking in?
I think the only lock I truly have is Cody Smith McPhee, which I think is a potential
just him
all the way other than the most potential. You know, I have doubts about other people will get a nomination after hearing you guys' conversation. But what I like to, I want to bring Havoc to a conversation, and this is because this is SAG. What about Jared Leto?
I was gonna get to him.
No,
I was
like
gonna get
honestly,
to.
like whatever.
No, yeah.
Okay, you think the performance, you think the performance is dumb or whatever. He's exaggerating. That does not take away from the performance. You believe this person actually exists. It's maybe stupid. It's outrageous, but all the performances in that film are, and one is getting nominated. Like Lady Gaga is getting nominated for all these awards. Why can't Jared Leto not be when he's famous? People, I mean, he has won SAG, he has won the Oscar, he's in the conversation regularly. Also, J.K. Simmons. I'm thinking like, who can get nominated for the awards? J.K. Simmons for being the Ricardos. This is more role. I don't think it's if you were to ask me, it's not a like it will be a filler nomination if you need to fill the category. Like, with all respect to the performance, I cannot act to save my life. But it will be those kinds. Like, if you're gonna nominate somebody that it's like and has been getting the work lately, Oscar winning to 2017, 2016 for Whiplash and stuff like that. So J.K. Simmons.
He's a true supporting character in being the Ricardo, and he does a great job as a real person.
He has one scene. He has one scene where he's talking with the three ladies outside of the studio when everything's going down at the end of the film.
So Infinite Jeff says Jared Leto has a real shot. House of Gucci could surprise an ensemble too, which we'll get to in a sec. But no, I think Abe is right. Jared Leto made it into the little things, guys. He made it in for the little things out of nowhere. They like Jared Leto. They like what he does.
But that was a crazy year. There wasn't as many films that were up for discussion that year. And
I agree.
And he was
playing also pretty good in little things.
But the fact that, well, quality of the side, they went out of their way to watch him. He was on their minds. So they were like, oh, Jared Leto. So they know who he is. They like him. And what performance has people talking? You don't hear people talking about Troy Kotzer, Kieran Hines. Well, maybe Troy Kotzer, but like film Twitter is. But Jared Leto has been something that's been talked about, I know, even outside of where I work at News 2. I have heard people talk about Jared Leto who've actually saw House of Gucci. I haven't heard people talk about because people have seen that. It's made money. They know what his performance is like. And I think that from the over-the-top nature, while I think Ben Affleck is that over-the-top in The Last Duel, you're going to have someone even more over-the-top in Jared Leto. And I think House of Gucci, because my 5 is Cody Smith-McPhee, Kieran Hines, Troy Kotzer, Jamie Dornan still. I still think it's going to happen. And then Jared Leto for House of Gucci. I think he is definitely making it in. And I don't want him to.
Of Gucci. He's the Fredo of Gucci, that's for sure.
He is. I mean, he's a little more than. He's basically if they decided to give him a "It's me, Mario," a really offensive Italian accent based off of the Mario Brothers video games.
He could have easily got the role of Mario.
Yeah,
Chris Pratt, right?
Instead of Chris Pratt, get Jared Leto, who has the olive oil pouring and coursing through his veins. His words, his literal words.
Man.
But I think so. Jesse Plemons is actually a really good idea. We had mentioned prior that maybe like Will Smith brings in, or Anthony Ellis and Will Smith bring in John Bernthal, which I don't think that. I think that ship may have sailed because King Richard hasn't gotten the push. I think he's on the outside looking in, but I think you're right. We need to look out for Jesse Plemons being brought in because if they go with Dunst, if they go with McPhee, if they go with Cumberbatch, and they go with Plemons, watch out for Power of the Dog. Watch out for Power of the Dog.
Yep. Right.
But I'm trying to think what else. Having my notes here. Yeah. Oh, and Mike Feist. That is something that's been really buzzy. I don't know if that's going to translate because I've seen some critics groups. Do you guys have anywhere that Mike Feist is going to get in?
Somewhere I saw. I was watching FY for your consideration, and they were putting in Mike Feist. They had a big discussion of best supporting actor, just like we are, and Feist come up and I think they end up putting him in number 5 on the last episode of FYC. So I'm telling you, I think people are circling around Mike Feist. I'm not that big of a fan of him in that movie, but people that are big fans of West Side Story are kind of putting this narrative together of him getting in, which I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to die a slow death here pretty soon.
All right. So before we wrap up this discussion, also, Jeff gave a great idea, is Plemons might get in the Oscars with no precursors too. He was also made sense for a surprise there. Now, that is very true. We can talk about that when we get the Oscar nominations, but surprises like that do happen. There's always that one surprise. Y'all remember, what was his name? Lakeith Stanfield. Remember that out of nowhere?
Yeah, for once again, a slow year. Last year was a slow year. So,
True.
But Lakeith Stanfield had been doing good work up until that. In a lot of different things. And that's the thing you get. I think a lot of folks forget this, that like the Berthals, the Afflecks, the Plemons, some of these guys have been doing this for a little while now. And you know, when are you going to say, okay, we want to reward them with a nomination to something, you know? And Feist is new. Kotzer's relatively new. Maybe not new, but he's an unknown quantity, you know? Smith McPhee's been doing it for a little while, even though he's relatively young. He's still been Slow West, X-Men. You know, he's been in a few different things. So, some of these newer people may get left off for some of these veterans, like the Jason Isaacs, like the Plemons, like the Afflecks, like the, you know, some Smith McPhee's and these names. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the other thing with Lakeith Stanfield from last year is with them extending the eligibility. I think, didn't Judas come out a week or so before they were due to finishing the nominations?
Yeah.
So it was fresh on their mind.
Yep.
So
Same thing with,
I think that's the other reason he snuck in there.
Same thing with Jared Leto, Malcolm. Very fresh on their minds.
Yeah, he was the new the hot thing, the new thing.
That was like the first week in February, I believe, and the nominations were like the last week in February, right?
Something like that. So one question I want to add along is that we mentioned this prior. Bradley Cooper, do we think that he's making it in with 10 minutes of screen time?
No,
I hope not.
Possibly.
I hope not. I hope my critic Scooper's wrong on this.
Well, that was the big question because, again, he is memorable. He's gotten praise. The only downside is he is very much in a small section of the movie.
And he's wild and wacky and crazy.
He's fun.
Playing John Waters.
Also, Infinite Jeff, I forgot where I heard this, but I also heard this as well, too. Remember SAG only had digital codes for West Side Story, which is the same thing for Little Women and They All Missed. I forgot what I was listening to, but someone said something along those lines, and that's true. Like, digital code, just like they had for Little Women, is missing. Maybe it was for your consideration. I can't remember.
Well, I'll tell you this. I know one critic locally where I live, and he's kind of like the big deal here. He will not watch a digital screening of a film if he can see it in theater instead. So if he knows he's got a screener sitting on a link in his email for West Side Story, but he is a potential to see West Side Story in the theater, he would rather go see it in the theater. So
understandable.
That's just a critic, a film critic that he votes in like the Critics' Choice and some of these things. So that's
don't we all do that?
Mindset.
We try. I think because most times we'll get the actual streamers. Like again, these past 2 years, streaming has been the dominant thing. But again,
wait, you watch King Richard at your house?
Yes.
I got Macbeth, Tragedy of Macbeth screening link, and like 4 days later, I could have seen it in the theater, and I chose to not go to the theater, and I just watched it on my computer instead because I didn't want to drive 45 minutes to go see it, and I was short on cash, didn't have a lot of gas, so I had it right there. I was like, I'm just going to watch it, and I wrote my review based off of that.
Dave's disappointed. Listen, hey. Listen, I will go to the theater as much as possible. That was just an instance where I was like, I've seen literally Well, that's like one of the one exceptions without a rewatch if I have the chance, because I want to go to the theater. But that was just one time where I was like, you know what? It's right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and watch it because
don't excuse yourself, money.
Okay.
And I
See,
a lot.
that's why I'm glad HBO Max is not a thing in New Zealand. Otherwise, I would have been tempted into just watching it as soon as I could, as opposed to waiting for it to come out in theaters.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I went
like I would have seen Clifford on theaters if I had someone age appropriate to come with me, because I'm not watching Clifford alone.
That's.
You could.
I mean,
you could have seen it.
You don't go watch Clifford alone at 25. There's a ton of families. They're gonna look at you.
You don't watch Clifford at all. You don't.
How many times I've been in the theater watching Pixar movies or Illumination or DreamWorks anime because I knew I needed to see the movie for my potential best of the year or worst of the year or whatever. Oh, I don't give it a crap. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. So I have to go to the theater alone to go see stuff. So
do you watch Paw Patrol?
No, that one I did not watch.
Yep.
I had a screening link for a Saturday morning to go see an in-person link to go see it. And I wasn't going to drive to Tampa to go see it. That's like 2-hour drive.
Now, Paw Patrol is not worth it.
No.
Have you watched it?
Quickly. No.
So who's up next?
This is going on a tangent. Let's go to the next topic because I'm hungry.
All right. Quick question. Image has Lakeith Stanfield for Harder They Fall for supporting actor. Makeup nod for Judas. I don't see that happening because I think that people forgot about that. All the love went to Daniel Kaluuya, and people were like, I think Daniel Kaluuya helped bring in Lakeith Stanfield because they were watching that film. That's what I think. But I do not think that will happen. But all right, quickly, best supporting actor
is dropping off the map too. So maybe song or score,
or we'll get there in a second. All right, best supporting actor. For me, we're gonna go along. Cody Smith-McPhee, Power of the Dog. Kieran Hines, Belfast. Troy Kotzer, Coda. Jamie Doran, Belfast, and Jared Leto, House of Gucci. Malcolm.
I got Cody McPhee, Kieran Hines, Troy Kotzer, Bradley Cooper, and J.K. Simmons.
And I have Cody Smith-McPhee, Troy Kotzer, Kieran Hines, Ben Affleck, Jason Isaacs.
I agree with Manny. I have the exact same 5 as you.
Hey, there you go. And a quick shout out, Robin DeJesus could show up here too. Shoot. I would love that. That'd be great. I don't think he will, mainly because I think Tick Tick Boom hasn't. I don't think it's lost love. I think it's still it's still managed. Garfield, especially with him being. Oh well, can I spoil stuff that recently from movies that came out? I think it's fine. Spoiler quickly.
Too, you got to remember we're not looking at a lot of what do you call it? Different people in Best Supporting Actor. So DeJesus could sneak in there to get some diversity.
Well, true, but I just want to make sure they saw Licorice Pizza. Wow, Tick Tick Boom. But no, what I was gonna say is that Garfield's in No Way Home. There, surprise. Sorry, guys. Woo. I gave you a quick spoiler alert. So that love is bringing in, I think, people are looking at Garfield, be like, oh, let's check out Tick Tick Boom. And I think that people might see Robin DeJesus. And if it makes it in picture, if it makes it in ensemble, I think, honestly, I think Tick Tick Boom has a better shot in ensemble than it does in getting in Robin DeJesus single. Just bring him for supporting, possibly. And Brian says, which Cooper role? And again, Licorice Pizza, because Nightmare Alley is, in fact, lead. He's the lead in Nightmare Alley. Correct. Who's got actor? Abe or me? Oh, you have actor. Sorry, you have actress. Abe has actor. So go ahead, Dan. Best actress. Okay. So Kristen Stewart, Jessica Chastain, Nicole Kidman, Olivia Colman, Jennifer Hudson. That's what I got. Best actor. Best actress. I mean, did you just say Jennifer Hudson? Yeah, I still have her in there. She's fifth. All right. She's my 5. I love it. But I don't know where else you could go with best. I mean, Penelope Cruz is on the outside looking in. I don't know who else you can really legitimately put into this conversation besides those 6. And I just think that
I don't think that Olivia Colman's that good in The Lost Daughter, and I know some people on here have seen it and liked her. I just don't think the movie's that good. I don't think she's that good, but because of the narrative of her in various places, I got her in the 5. So, but I would have had Penelope Cruz in here if I had my druthers.
Well, I don't know where my pin went, so I can't make notes. I literally flew the coop, so I'm just gonna have to not use my notes. All right, but for lead actress, you'd mentioned that you have Jennifer Hudson. Does anyone else here have Jennifer Hudson?
I do.
Am I the only person who doesn't have Jennifer Hudson? Okay, wow. All right, so Malcolm, tell me, for yours, I want us to go through the locks real fast. I don't think any of us consider her a lock, at least, right?
No.
Okay, as long as that be under that note, because I'm like, am I missing something? All right, so we have the safe. We have Spencer, Kristen Stewart, Spencer.
Yeah,
that's the easy one. Now I think what is also safe because they love her, and I think Olivia Colman's safe. Maybe not to win, but to get a nomination. I think she's safe to get a nomination because they love her. Whether I think she might be the sole representation for The Lost Daughter of the Oscars, maybe, but they love Olivia Colman. So I think she is safe. Dan disagrees, though.
I just don't think the movie's that good. I don't think she's that good in the movie.
No, that's fine, but I just think that the fact that it's gotten a lot of critical buzz, I could be wrong. You're right. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I'm just looking at the fact that it's Olivia Colman. She's gotten critical praise. If it was anyone else, let's say the movie starred, pick a random British actress.
Judi Dench.
Well, that might be a little different movie, honestly. But like, I feel like that would be a really different movie. I really want to see that now. Holy cow.
You pick a random British actress.
Yep. Nope. You're right. Like, you are absolutely right. But let's say that it was Rebecca Hall, maybe. Rebecca Hall may not make it in, but Olivia Colman is genuinely, I think, loved by the acting community. So I think she's going to help propel herself if she's in a nice movie that people actually really, really love. I think she's definitely going to be, I think she's in a strong suit to be able to make it in, personally. So,
and you got to remember the thing, we're talking about SAGs, so we're not talking about Oscars right now.
Yes.
She's already won a SAG for The Crown. She's been nominated for a couple times with Favorite. I mean, so she does have a lot of wins already, SAGs, and so maybe put somebody else into this category instead of her, but who knows?
I think that does help her at the end of the day because she recently won. They're like, oh, hey, Olivia Colman, let's add her name to the list because they like her.
Yeah,
that might help her. I don't think she's winning, but I think that might be the. Go ahead, Malcolm.
Yeah, no, what I was about to say is, like I remember back in the day of like when 8th grade was out, because I think Jonah Hill's cousin sister, I'm not too sure, got in for Beanie Feldstein got in, but Caitlin Dever missed, but she got a SAG nomination for one of the TV side of things she had done that year.
Series on Netflix, yeah.
So I don't know if the same could be for Olivia Colman, but if because I think she was still on The Crown this year.
Unbreakable or something. It was called Unbreakable.
Was not. The Crown was not this year. It was not this year.
Yeah, Crown was last year. Right?
Only last year. So, but what I will add. So, and then the other one I have for safe is I think Chastain I think she is safe, but Abe I think disagrees with that. So at this point, I only think we all agree on that Stewart is safe.
I think Chastain's safe. I mean, I think she's a lock. I think Chastain's a lock.
I agree.
Stewart and Chastain are a lock. I'd argue that Nicole Kidman's a lock, to be honest with you.
Possibly, but again, Being the Ricardos is another movie that I feel like has not gotten the steam. Do we all think that? Okay, so let me ask the question then. Who do we have as? This is what I want to go. We're going to do our 5 at the very end, but I want to do the 5 real fast. Also, Infinite Jeff let us know that Cruise has 5 SAG nods. Even got in for The Volver, which I have utterly no idea what that movie is. What is the
It's
Volver?
Almodovar. It's Pedro Almodovar. I mean, he has done so much with her, Penelope Cruz, and Zorro, Antonio Banderas. He's done so much with the two of them over the years, and you will look what he did for Antonio Banderas in the last movie he did. You know, got him in the Best Actor for that. So that's why I had her in my 6, because I said you can't count out Penelope Cruz because she's really good in
this movie.
Fellow Mothers. Huh?
Wow, I forgot it. No, this is Volver. I just realized this is what Volver was. I've seen this poster so many times, but I never actually. Oh, excuse me. Yes, thank you, Volver. I have not seen this. I have not seen this Almodovar film. Wow. Sorry, go ahead, please.
She's great in it, but I actually like Cruz better in Parallel Mothers than I do Coleman in The Lost Daughter. But that's just me.
All right, so I'm gonna quickly go around because. We all seem to have this different view of like who's going to be nominated where, because this is a pretty like top heavy category. There's a top heavy category to this, I think, honestly. So Malcolm, first off, let me go. My 5 are Kristen Stewart, Jessica Chastain, Olivia Colman, Nicole Kidman, and Lady Gaga. It's the predicted 5. You go to Gold Derby, that's the 5. But there's like also 4 other people you could pick to interchange like 2 of those roles at the moment. For instance, Infinite Jeff also says again that Zegler seems like a SAG pick. I could see that. I could see them going Zegler if they like West Side Story. But again, I don't think if Feist isn't making it in, Zegler making it would be a big shock because I feel like they're so top heavy personally. But Malcolm, what do you have for your 5? Because again, I think we're going to have very different, maybe the same.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Kristen Stewart, Lady Gaga, Nicole Kidman, Jessica Chastain, and Jennifer Hudson. I think could sneak in there.
Who do you have missing out from my list again?
I don't have Coleman.
You do not have Coleman. Okay, Dan, what do you have?
I have, which I read already, Kristen Stewart, Jessica Chastain, Nicole Kidman, Olivia Colman, and Jennifer Hudson.
Okay. And do you have out Gaga?
Yep, I don't have Gaga. That movie is tanking, and I don't see Gaga. The weirdest thing is everybody had her at 1 or 2 before anybody ever saw the movie. And then once they saw the movie, forget about Gaga. Gaga, go, 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 bye-bye.
Gaga go. No, well, she has been on the cam. You think someone who's been campaigning even more, like a week doesn't go by where I don't see her doing an interview with someone or something in regards to like getting into the role of Patrizia. Really her kind of like, you see some of the interviews that she does and she's like talking about how she'll get like flashbacks when she goes into the actual area of the shooting location. It's like, oh, why did I do this? She gets into the character. She lets you know.
I loved her in the movie. I liked the movie. I didn't hate the movie. I liked the movie. But
same.
You have to take when a sinking ship is going down, people are going down with that sinking ship. Leto's going with it. She's going with it. They're all going with that sinking ship. And I hate to say it, but that's the truth.
I mean, you're not. There's a world where she misses. Abe, what do you think?
Manning, I don't see the word world. Sorry. I think I have. Wait, I was eating. Sorry. I have Olivia Colman, Nicole Kidman, Lady Gaga, Kristen Stewart, and I also have Jennifer Hudson. Why?
No, Jessica Chastain.
Wow.
No, I don't think so.
Wow.
Well, you're talking about Dying. That movie came out in October. You think they're gonna remember that when they're not gonna nominate anything else other than makeup, maybe?
What I tell you about all the press she's doing for 355? Guess what she's also doing press for?
And what's the press doing for that film if that movie only opened for $4.8 million?
Yeah, she's getting it. She's getting an A.
Okay, so and just my wild card. If Licorice Pizza gets
Ilana Heim,
that thing ensemble, I think Ilana Heim gets in or Jennifer Hudson.
I think she could get in with. I think she could get in with that without the ensemble. Maybe she could catapult. So there's a possibility because she's like it's not a big ensemble.
Yeah, but the kids and the people.
Speaking of, did y'all know she was a musician?
Yes, she's a
I had no idea.
Grammy-nominated musician.
I had no idea. What kind of music does her band sing
Oh,
or play? Do you know? Because I want to listen to some of these songs now that I know she's in a band, just for the hell of it. Because I freaking fell in love with her in that movie. No makeup, no care. She still looked gorgeous and amazing. I loved her. That would be a pleasant surprise for me, Abe, if she gets in.
I think it's pop punk, but don't quote me on that. Sorry, pop rock.
But
don't quote me. Pop rock. Yes, don't quote me on that.
I gotta look up.
It is pop rock.
Pop rock. Okay, I have to look up some of these songs. See what these. This is the road.
Infinite Jeff says.
She's
here. I agree. I think she needs the actors to. She needs the actors to like rally around her in order to really lift her up.
Yep. Agree.
But again, or Licorice Pizza needs to do a lot better. It needs to do really well with a lot of the what's it called, the guilds and whatnot. Because you look back at Yalitza, she missed. I think did she miss SAG? She got in SAG, did she?
I think she missed SAG.
I know she got in for the Oscar when she brought in Marina del. Oh, what's her name? Abe, help me out with pronunciation, please.
Marina de Tavira.
Thank you. This is where I'm going to ask you to help me. She brought her in, but I can't remember if like she got nominated for SAG Yalitza. Do you remember that? I can't remember.
Probably she did.
I'm not positive. I love how though that we all have none of us have the exact same. We all have like a little one different. We all have.
I still can't believe Abe doesn't have Jessica Chastain.
Wait, we all have Kidman though, right?
Yep.
I have Kidman.
Yeah.
You have Kidman, right? Okay, so
and all of us except for you have Hudson.
Correct. And then everyone but Abe has Chastain, and then everyone but
Malcolm has Coleman.
Yes, and then everyone but you have Gaga.
Yeah, so that's so weird.
So that's what I think the category is shaping up to be. There's going to like actually, oh, Dylan, thank you, sir. Just tuning in now. Aparicio. Can you, Abe?
Aparicio.
Thank you. Was snubbed for SAG. It was Blunt and Mary Poppins instead. Oh yeah.
Wow.
I forgot about that.
Wow.
So they don't really do newcomers, do they? Do they?
That's why I said I thought that in the men category, in the supporting, you might get some veterans and people that have been around a little while instead of some of these like Jamie Dornan. I mean, he's relatively new, you know.
Well, I think it also depends because was Paul Raci, did he miss for supporting last year? He was kind of like a veteran actor, but he hadn't got any awards or traction prior to that performance.
Yeah, I think Critics' Choice and Oscar.
I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference between an unknown from Oaxaca to a guy that had a $500,000 movie playing Mr. Gray, whatever. I think there's a difference on newcomer.
Jamie Dornan. No, I agree with that. Paul Raci is he's okay. There's three different types of newcomers. There's a newcomer like Ilana Heim, who's making her debut role, similar to
Yalitza.
Okay, both Dylan and Jeff confirmed that Paul Raci was a snub. So I'm glad. Okay, I wanted to make sure that was the case. I'm pretty sure that they had missed, but I was not positive. Looking back right now, Ilana Heim, she is of the kind where it's her first big breakout role. Okay, Yalitza. That's the category along those lines. You can see me dodging the last name because I know I'm going to butcher it. And we have the other category, which is like the Paul Racis or the Jason Isaacs, people who have not been, nominated for awards, but have been doing good work, in the past. And then finally, you have
the Richard Jenkins.
Yes, and then finally you have the other ones who are in the club, those who are like the Jamie Dornans, those who are Bradley Cooper before he got his nominations when he was just doing the Hangover series, those people who were doing the big blockbuster stuff, but they weren't in the awards contention, not character actors, movie stars. So there's kind of like three categories if you kind of splice it out, and so that's how I see it. That was a tangent, but that's how I've been seeing it recently, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Abe,
You know, I'm still mad the Colts lost.
What is it about the Colts? This is not about
Yeah,
the
I'm
Colts.
sorry. I'm still mad. I think I'm
I
attacking
know.
you guys way too much with your takes. I'm mad. Sorry.
No,
Why should
I
you be
know.
mad right now
Sorry.
too, Gabe? My team's losing, so get over it.
Oh,
Yeah, but you're
I
in.
apologize. I
I
apologize.
bought a
Anyway,
fucking
okay.
shirt this year.
Read
Okay,
some
all
best
right.
actors, Gabe.
All right, no, quickly. I want to talk about some people who may be on the outside looking in. Abe, I remember you had bet money on Frances McDormand. This is earlier in the year. Frances McDormand making it in for the See, I remember this. You bet money on the fact of her making it into the 5. Why don't you have her in your 5, Abe?
Because I haven't watched the tragedy in Macbeth, and that opens until the 13th, I believe. So I will not give my opinion about any film. No comment on that.
No comment at this time. He's dodging. No, I just think Francis has not. All the praise I feel like has been going to Washington. I haven't heard as much about McDormand. So
the role's not that big anyway.
Mm-hmm. But
you'll be able to see it this week if you got an Apple.
Yeah,
is that the first last first timer in SAG was Gabri Sibe in Precious.
That's not good for a lot of people.
About to say that's not really great for people who are breaking in for the first time in their performances. Oscars seem to be better at that than SAG, which is surprising. And also don't forget Amelia Jones, though, someone as well who is really well known. She could make in if they love Coda.
I love Coda, yeah.
I know you love, but I don't know. I don't think that's the case of her making it in. You know who could surprise out of nowhere if also Ruth Negga makes it in? Tessa Thompson for Passing.
Yep. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking if you're going to bring in Negga, you could potentially bring in Thompson. And they're both kind of a yin and a yang in that movie in a way. You know?
They are 100%.
Yeah.
They are 100%.
Yeah. But if I'll tell you what, if Marley Matlin and Troy Kotzer get in, don't be surprised to see Amelia Jones get in.
They would love Coda if that's the case. And Dylan says Maria Bakalova and Yoon Jung were fairly unfamiliar names last year, but that was in supporting, not lead. That's true. I think supporting is a lot kinder. But they were relatively unknown names, specifically Maria Bakalova, who is literally, that's one of her first roles, right?
I think it was the first.
First English language role. Anyway, I think she had a lot of foreign roles.
So it's a possibility. I won't say it's not. Also, Tessa would be a great pick. I agree. Tessa would be.
I saw Passing way back at Sundance, and I'll tell you, and I was blown away when I saw it. And it's a sore spot with Manning, but he eventually saw the movie, and I eventually saw Coda, so we're even on that. And they're both phenomenal movies. So I would love some of these Sundance movies to get some people in. The Passings, the Mask, the Codas, to get people in to some of these award shows. It shows that long journey pays off sometimes. Because we're coming up on an absolute year that Mask, Passing, and Coda came out at Sundance. It's crazy.
Wow. And because we're getting Sundance and literally geez, just think about that. That's crazy. Wow. And then finally, another two I want to throw out, Jody Comer in The Last Duel. I don't think she's making it in, but she's fantastic. She's really good. I just want to shout her out.
I don't know if she's not going to get in, but but I liked her in Free Guy. I thought she was great in Free Guy. But
she was really better in Free Guy than The Last Duel.
No,
okay.
No,
The Last Duel.
False.
I didn't like
completely different roles. Completely different roles.
Correct. Very different roles, I will say. Also,
it shows her range. It shows her range. What a great actor. She could do that in Free Guy and then do that in The Last Duel.
All right. Before we move on, Sandra Bullock in Unforgivable?
No.
No.
She is Sandra Bullock, though. She's Sandy.
She couldn't get in for Bird Box. She ain't getting in for Unforgivable.
What's the last SAG nom she got?
The Blind Side.
Was it The Blind
Gravity?
Side?
What's come out first, Gravity or The Blind Side? One of them two, right?
No, Gravity. Gravity was the last one that she got.
Now someone's going to look that up.
Yeah, Gravity sounds about right, because I don't know what she's done since then. Someone look that up real fast, but
Gravity was her last nomination.
Abe.
Yeah, it's been a while. So,
she also got her first nomination was for Crash.
Oh wow, she's gotten 3 nominations so far.
Well, although the Crash one was ensemble for SAG.
Okay.
What a great ensemble that was. What a
All right,
great ensemble. Abe,
do you have lead actor for us?
Do you have it queued up there,
Yes.
Abe?
Yes,
All right.
I have.
Take us
Sorry.
away.
I don't know what I was thinking. Actor. So I'm pretty sure we have locks at least in 4. Garfield. Yeah. Can we give
Yes.
Garfield? Cumberbatch, Smith,
Yep.
and Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
So we don't have to argue about those.
I don't have Dinklage.
Oh.
Because you guys don't have Dinklage.
Malcolm, you can. This is a trend with Malcolm. If he hadn't seen the movie, he's not going to nominate somebody. More than likely, most of the time.
I mean, I haven't seen Macbeth and I've got Washington, so.
Okay. That's.
A lot of people
I
haven't seen
think
it
that's
now.
where I have Washington and DiCaprio. Those are the 2 that I have on the edge.
Wait. Oh, so you're between those 2.
Yes, between those 2. I'm thinking more DiCaprio because it's DiCaprio, and he's hotter for the new generation. You know, DiCaprio, the Titanic bus is not Malcolm X anymore.
I'm telling you right now, guys. Once you see Cyrano, you're going to be like, "Wow, Peter Dinklage is incredible." I mean, incredible.
Which I don't know how that movie's getting nominated if we don't put it until September.
Press have seen it already, and the critics have seen it, and
which is why I think that it's going to get in for SAG for Dinklage, because he is a known commodity when it comes to SAG, thanks to Game of. What's 2 words?
Well, one thing I'll add for one thing I'll say for Cyrano is the play that this musical is based on. Dinklage had that role in that play as well, which is why he seems like a perfect fit in the movie, because he was in it.
Same thing with Richard Jenkins and The Humans.
Well, he didn't originate it. That was Reed Birney.
Reed Birney. My bad. I caught myself. I caught myself.
Good catch. So what I was gonna say is that Peter Dinklage, 4 words, 3 words, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. He has literally, I think, been nominated almost every year. I think he's missed a couple, but like every year he's been nominated and finally won on the last season. He's a known commodity, and SAG's going to want to give him like, hey, this is your nomination. He's not winning, but it'd be hard for me unless enough people haven't seen it, unless SAG was just not seen it yet. But I highly see that, I highly don't see that to be the case, because they love Peter Dinklage. He's a known actor, and I would be kind of shocked if he missed. If he misses here, he's not getting in the Oscars. I can almost guarantee that. Because the SAG branch is what's going to really elevate him, I think. He might get BAFTA, and that might propel him, but I'd be surprised otherwise. But wait, so you have Washington on the edge, Abe. Why is that?
Because I'm not sure if him and DiCaprio get in. Those are $20 million men per movie. So which popularity contest get? I mean, it's true. They charge $20 million per movie. I don't lie. Look it up.
Well, so Denzel directed a movie called A Journal for Jordan. That thing isn't making any money.
Yeah,
and then he's acting. He's acting in a tragedy in Mecca. I don't think he got $20 million for that role. That thing was micro budget. I mean, micro budget. Abe.
He got $20 million for the little things or whatever.
But that's different. That's Warner Brothers. Yeah. This is a micro budget Apple Plus set production with cheap ass sets, and they're using lights to create shadows and nuance and kind of a atmosphere that, trust me, there's nobody on that set that was getting $20 million for that movie. If he got $20 million for Tragedy, I'd be shocked.
Also, I will quickly say, I did not know this. Dinklage actually got a Best Actor nod for The Station Agent for SAG, not for the Oscars, but for SAG. I did not know that. So they do in fact really love him. I did not realize that. So
he was great in The Station. I love that movie.
Yeah, and also Infinite Jeff brings up that Cerno has the same issue as West Side Story, digital screener only.
Interesting. That would not that could be detrimental. I would hope it would not be the case, but I could be wrong. Also, Brian says he has Smith, Cage, Ramos, Garfield, and Bardem. That Ramos pick is bold. That is a bold one.
Cage,
yeah.
bold.
Okay. Go ahead, Malcolm.
I was about to say, as much as I love In the Heights, like I think Anthony Ramos could be a surprise nomination for SAG. I just think In the Heights came out too early to have a chance to get in anywhere.
Yeah, nothing. So, the only thing that's kind of hitting on a lot of is Mitchell's from the early days, and Raya maybe. Nothing before. Literally the window is like what? September, October in there, all the way till now. It hasn't. The rest of the year hasn't really made a dent in any. There's nothing that's really made a dent. No actors, actresses, movies, nothing except for animation. That's it.
Now, I will add upon the fact that you said Pig, Nicolas Cage in Pig.
Wow,
he made it into critics. Shocked. He made it into critics, and there's always that left field pick. SAG always has one they bring into the forefront. And
Leto last year.
And it was Leto last year. Nicolas Cage can be that one that we think, oh my goodness, how did this miss? But then the question is, who does he kick out? Because Washington, can actors resist Denzel and Shakespeare? They couldn't resist him in Roman J. Israel Esquire.
Well, that was because our boy in the room, the disaster artist, got into some controversy right before all this happened, and then they had to they didn't want him in there, and so Denzel just ended up being the guy that got in there in place of Franco. That's because everybody was on Franco's bandwagon that year until this controversial stuff happened, and then bam, they were like, okay, well, we can't put Franco in. Who are we gonna put in? Oh, we'll put Denzel.
I mean, even if the controversy didn't happen, I wasn't too confident that Franco was going to get in anyway. It was always going to be between Washington or Franco. So, but anyway,
no. What I will say quickly is that Franco made it into SAG. Franco actually made it into SAG that year. We had Oldman, Chalamet, Franco, Kaluuya, and Washington. Washington, I think they just love. If you look back at Denzel Washington, he won for Fences. Now, I do think while he is not, I don't think he's in the top 3. I think he's 4 or 5, and he could miss. But they love Denzel Washington. Go ahead, Malcolm.
Yeah, what I was going to say in regards to Nicolas Cage anyway, because I've also got Nicolas Cage in my 5, and I think he knocks it. I think he knocks out Dinklage.
I love the boldness.
Wow.
I mean, that's critics basically minus the Dinklage.
Yeah. And I haven't seen it, so I've seen Cage. A lot of people say Cage is really great in Pig, so I'm trusting the faith on that. So,
just to think, he has been nominated for 7 SAGs. Denzel Washington. But you're right. Nicolas Cage could absolutely do that because I think they would love that comeback story of him being able to get that.
Every once in a while they do bring Cage in to this stuff. Remember?
Sorry. He made 40 million for the little things. 40 million.
Yeah, back end deal.
40 million.
Because of the HBO Max release. Will Smith also made 40 million for King Richard because of that HBO Max thing.
Jeez.
So last time Nicolas Cage has only been nominated twice for a SAG. And last one was Adaptation in 2003, and then before that was Leaving Las Vegas.
What was it in 2003, right? Malcolm?
Adaptation.
Yeah. So look, they every decade, boom, or about every 10 or so years, they bring old Nick in. they dust him
my
off and bring him in for something.
I love that
So
visual.
this
for some
could be
reason.
that time. This could be that time. Who knows?
Okay, so Jim and Jeff also says Gosling made it in for Lars and the Real Girl. They love random indies. Cage could definitely get in. Yeah, I think that could be the wild card pick. You remember that one time? I will never forget. Well, what was it? I Smile Back when Sarah Silverman made it in out of nowhere.
Talk about a weird nomination.
That they will go
and
for
then
these
we know
things
we
like
got
that.
Jennifer Aniston for Cake.
Yes, that is true. So
and
it's a possibility.
All her love of the TV stuff translated into her getting in a movie. So you're right. I mean, Cage could get in because they just love Cage, and they want to dust him off. But
don't be shocked. I
mean, if any of these categories are pretty close to a lock with Smith, Cumberbatch, Dinklage, Garfield, Washington, I think those 5 are as close a lock as you're going to get out of all of these categories.
I agree.
I mean, I think we're all in agreement. Ansel Elgort's not getting nominated.
No.
So.
He is not getting a SAG for Best Actor. I can tell you that. Controversy aside, that performance is not getting it. I can tell you that.
He's not that good. He's not
that great at all in it. I will say, any chance for a Simon Rex, Mahershala Ali, or Joaquin Phoenix? Anyone outside of those chances? I have them on my outside looking in list.
I mean,
Joaquin
got a Globe nomination for all that's moves, so
that's true.
I mean, Joaquin was great. Come on. People were. I was hearing all this stuff from people about come on, and then when I saw the movie, I was like, "What the hell are people talking about? He's fantastic in this movie. I love him in this movie." But Simon Rex is like, you want to talk about left field out of nowhere if he gets in something like this. I mean, that would be the most ridiculously crazy, wild.
That would be crazy.
Not that he doesn't deserve it, because I thought he was great in the movie. But there's a girl in the movie that I actually like her better. She plays Strawberry or whatever the heck her name is, Cherry or whatever. I can't remember her name.
Has not come here yet.
Yeah. She's some fruit. She's got a name from some fruit.
Well,
I liked her better than I liked him, to be honest.
What I will say though is that one thing that keeps me away from and also he says Dylan says, I wish Joaquin could get in. I prefer Come On performance to Joker.
A lot of people are saying that.
I've heard it's a very different from what I've heard performance than Joker.
Oh yeah.
But Come On has literally like it is really just kind of like died. Like, I don't know what big nominations critics haven't even really gotten much around it compared to some other films around there. And it's kind of interesting because the love that I have seen for people who've seen it does not translate to, ultimately the nomination. So I think he misses, but I could be shocked. Mahershala Ali, they love him. He's gotten
Swan Song's not that good. I'll be honest with you.
I haven't seen it yet.
There's 2 Swan Songs. Okay, this is how. Okay.
Oh yeah, there are 2. Yes.
There's 2 Swan Songs. There's more buzz around Udo Kerr in his swan song there is about Mahershala Ali in his. That tells you how bad Mahershala Ali's swan song is.
Well, somehow, some way, they gave it a nomination for Golden Globes for him for actor.
Well,
it could be because no other studios wanted to have anything to do with it.
Well, the other thing is he plays 2 characters.
Yes, that'll do it.
Song. So he basically is playing himself twice. It's like himself. Like one of them is a clone of himself. So without giving away the movie, I'm sorry. I hope that didn't give away.
Oh no, they show that in the trailers. It's fine.
Okay, all right.
All right, quickly, Bradley Cooper and Nightmare Alley. Is that happening? Because I feel like Nightmare Alley has kind of started to like really cool.
I think there's a better shot at that than some of these other ones. He's the star of Nightmare Alley, and he brings that movie along. His journey from beginning to end is what is the driving force of that movie. And if you aren't on board with him at the beginning, you're not going to be on board with him at the end when this tragic change happens at the end. So I think you have to include Bradley Cooper in the mix. I think the best actor is as close to a lock with those 5 that as any of the categories we've talked about so far.
He's my number 7 right now that I have. I think there's a chance for him to get in. I just need Nightmare Alley just needs to do better, in other craft categories down the future, because I don't think, even with amazing as that last shot is, it's not bringing people along, sadly. As good as fantastic as he is, I think.
The crafts could drag him along with it.
Maybe,
right
yeah.
That. That's a very good point there, Manny.
Nightmare Alley didn't take off. It really didn't. It got really critical high at first, and then it slowly started to cool off. Like when it first came out, people were raving or a little cool on it. I know Dan was raving about it, and then it's slowly just kind of fizzled out. It has not sustained itself,
Yeah. Well,
like
it came out. It kind of on the 17th of December. That day was not a good day for any movies to be coming out besides one. And, we had American Underdog out that day. You had Nightmare Alley out that day. You had Sing 2 around the same time as that on the 22nd. So it's like, what? I don't know. Maybe put that out a little bit later, like the last week of December instead, where some of these movies have a chance to die down, and then they go see that because that's something that hadn't been out in theaters, but
Agreed.
Whatever.
I mean, even released.
Clifton Collins Jr. is another one. Would you say, Malcolm?
I mean, releasing it before the 17th probably be better, because like even in the last week of December, like No Way Home was pretty much dominating that.
Right.
That's not a bad idea.
Last part of December, so.
And I think another one, Clifton Collins Jr. I hate to say it, I love him and Jockey, but no one's seen the movie yet, so I don't think the press has seen it. So I'd be amazed if Clifton Collins Jr. got in. That would be like the most. You talk wild. That would be Rex getting in.
Simon Rex
would be really Simon Rex getting in. If Clifton Collins, that would be the most wild.
That would.
But he's a pro. The guy's been around for a long time.
Talking about a really bold outside pick that I'm still not confident enough to put in my 5. And talking about No Way Home, Tom Holland as a very bold outside.
That would be very bold.
That'd be wild. Andrew Garfield in anything other than Tick Tick Boom would be crazy.
Well, I think, because I think in the supporting ones, like a lot of those supporting ones are kind of all over the place at the moment. Like any 5 could get in and it'll be good. And talking about short appearances, it'll be crazy if Andrew Garfield got in for both and lead for Tick Tick Boom and supporting for No Way Home.
But you forget he's Jim Baker in The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and he's great in it.
That is true. And let's look at him getting maybe 3 nominations. It's not going to happen, but
no way.
Still. Also, quickly, what about Timothée in Dune? LOL.
Unfortunately, no.
He's great, but
maybe Dune Part 2. You're going to get crafts. You're going to get crafts out the wazoo for Dune. Would you say, Malcolm?
Oh yeah, I agree with being like in the visual effects and stuff. But Timothy, like, while I could see it maybe sneaking in, because I do think he was good in Dune. I think Best Actor is a really tough race at the moment, especially with like the 5 we've already mentioned. Aside from a couple of maybe surprises that could sneak in, I don't think Timothée Chalamet is one of them.
No way. He's got a better shot of getting in for Don't Look Up than he has for Dune.
I don't think I agree with that, but I understand what you're saying. Well, actually, if you talk about ensemble, then yes, I agree. If you're talking about ensemble,
I'm saying, because you can't deny that movie in ensemble, which is your turn. I think we're getting close to your turn here, Manny.
No, it is, and which brings me to finally ensemble. But I lost my pin, so I didn't finish writing my notes on ensemble. So I'm going to go off the top of my head or my Gold Derby predictions, I guess. I guess in particular, I have, and I think we all in agreement. We all have Belfast, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Do we all have The Power of Dog?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Good. Now here we go. Do we have Coda?
No.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Don't Look Up.
Yes.
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 Okay. And another last one, my fifth one, and I might take it out. And that is West Side Story.
No.
No.
Yes.
Oh wow! Look at
Okay.
me.
Okay, we're in sync. We're in sync. You know what? Just for fun's sake, I'm gonna take out West Side Story and put my sixth. That's The Harder They Fall, because there is always one. No, there is. What's the
six as well.
In my defense, there is always one movie that is not in contention for Best Picture that always seems to like make it in. So there is something, you know.
That's my six as well, man.
On that note, I've got one in mind which I don't think is kind of fell off the wayside. That's probably not getting into Best Picture. That could get in here, and that's The French Dispatch.
That's a good pick.
Number 7 for me, Malcolm. That's my 7. What a massive cast. If you're gonna just go by massive, and they just want to give all these people a daggone SAG, that'd be a massive cast.
What I will say is, Dylan made a great point. I see Power of the Dog going the same way as Marriage Story, getting 3 acting nods, but not an ensemble nod. Yes, Power of the Dog is my 4th right now. So that is a good possibility for that to be the case. I just see that as such a dominant force at the moment. But I could be wrong.
I mean, it's one of those ones because comparing the two, I think like with Marriage Story, because I always view ensemble differently than I think most people do. Because for me, like ensemble means like you've got a great big cast of a lot of big, well-known stars. So, and that's kind of why I didn't have Coda in mind because, like, it's just a really it's a big cast, but it's not a lot of big star power, and that's the way I've always viewed the term ensemble. And I think Power of the Dog's got a much bigger cast than what Marriage Story had. Like with Marriage Story, I think the only really your big stars was ScarJo, Adam,
Dern,
and the other
Alan Ada.
Alda.
Yeah.
Alda, thank you.
But it was a true ensemble. Same thing with like Mass. Same thing with Coda. These are true ensembles. Where
speaking
it's not
of Mass,
a massive cast.
Bleecker Street Guy Cap's fantastic. An ensemble nod, says Infinite Jeff. Some hope for Mass fans. Thank you, Jeff. You've given me hope. I'm not going to predict it, but thank you for that.
So what were your 2 different ones, Malcolm? That was different than Abe and Manning.
Yes.
So
So I've got House of Gucci. An ensemble. And
did it, folks.
And I was already said that like French Dispatch was the other one I had differently. Like my 5 I've got is Power of the Dog, Don't Look Up, French Dispatch, Belfast, and House of Gucci. Unfortunately, I do think Ansel Elgort and the screener issue drags West Side Story out of the 5.
I have it out of the 5 too.
Yeah, I don't have it in the 5. So my 2 different ones are Nightmare Alley and Dune. Those are the 2 different ones that I have in
Dune's a good pick.
Dune's a massive cast, but it's a good movie, and it's an Oscar tender for Best Picture, and it's going to get in a lot of below the line categories. So you got to put the big cast in there. And Nightmare Alley is another one with a big cast with a lot of stars.
You're right. And what I will add also, Dylan said, I think Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, and The Harder They Fall are our locks. Dylan, I would love the confidence that you have for The Harder They Fall. For that lock, genuinely, please give it, because I'm very hesitant about putting it in my 5 right now. So I'll take some of that and transfer it here, please. I have West Side Story in my 5th spot, but it could have missed out from the screener issue, just like you had said, Malcolm. So that's a good Good point.
And I have Harder They Fall and French Dispatch are my 6 and 7 because of look. There's no, if you look at this 5 that I have, just my 5, there's not a lot of diversity in here. So putting in Harder They Fall would answer that diversity question, and they kind of want to make sure they cover some of these bases. So that's where Harder They Fall for me could sneak in over a Nightmare Alley or a Power of the Dog, even though Power of the Dog's not the biggest ensemble, it's a true ensemble because it really has 4 or 5 really interactions of these main. Same thing with Belfast, same thing with Coda, same thing with Mass, So Harder They Fall though could sneak in because of the diversity question. They want to make sure they cover their bases there.
Yeah.
Now, good.
On a similar line, I know Infinite Jeff threw out King Richard. Unfortunately, I do think it's only Will Smith that's sort of still holding on to that steam. I just think like he's the only one really being talked about from that cast. So
well, Angelou
Ellis. I think Ellis has also gotten some. I've seen her.
It's one of those ones like those are the only 2, but I think while those are the 2 being talked about for the separate categories, I don't think it's enough to push them into ensemble.
I will tell you this, Malcolm. If Smith, Ellis, Bernthal all get in, you could get a SAG ensemble for King Richard. That would be a narrative that you could see them getting the ensemble because of you look at, look, they like him in that, they like her in that, they like him in that. Boom, everybody, So that's it's an outside shot, but don't count it out.
Abe, what about you? If you're still there.
What's the question?
And what are your thoughts on
here?
Ensemble?
I don't know what happened to my camera.
Oh, okay. Cool. What are your thoughts on Ensemble?
Okay, so I want to make an argument on West Side Story because I guess you guys differ on that, Malcolm and Dan, right? Correct? Yeah, you guys don't have West Side Story.
I just jumped off of it for the Harder They Fall. So, but what? Yeah, I'd love to know what you have and what your thoughts.
No, but I think West Side Story, it's a musical. It has a ton of actors that they probably got their first SAG card, and you're supposed to have a line, right? Whatever you're singing. Okay, I don't know how that works, but they have a ton of actors dancing, singing, performing, and I think that helped West Side Story. Oh, my friend was in that movie. He's there in that frame exactly. He was directed by Steven Spielberg, and because of a chain reaction in the community of acting to get that film nominated. Also, you're not gonna nominate the newcomers like Rachel Zegler Ariana Bose, right?
Ariana DeBose, Mike Feist.
Okay, Ariana DeBose is gonna be. They're gonna be nominated. So I think West Side Story is one of those that my only doubt of the 5 I have, I think it's Coda, because
yes,
because it's a smaller film, is probably not gonna get in the Best Picture, which is the one that I'm iffy in, like which can sneak in. I was thinking King Richard because you're getting 2 nominations, like in SAG with Will Smith and Jenny Ellis.
Ingenue Ellis.
Yes. And also there was some John Bertha is great. The girls are great. So that's more of a true ensemble film. If you're gonna award an ensemble, that ensemble is really great. But my 6 is also House of Gucci, because if I think Leto's getting in and Gaga is getting in, well, let's nominate the whole cast that it's made of Jeremy Irons, Al Pacino, Alan Driver. People have been working for a while now.
Big name people. So, you're right about that.
Well, that's why I think the big name people are going to come with Don't Look Up, because I don't know how many people are submitted, because that's a lot of title cards for individuals that are going to show up. So that's why I think their base, when it comes to like the quote unquote large, big group of people, I think that's where that's going to come in. Again, last year it was Trial of the Chicago 7. Year before that, it was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There's always this big cast that's very heavy when it comes to ensemble. And I think that's what's going to happen with Don't Look Up. Well, and whether it gets a picture nomination from this, I don't know. But I think that's what's going to be the representation for the large ensemble. And Code will be the one for the smaller.
There are a few large ensembles, though, with Dune and Nightmare Alley.
You're right.
They're best picture contenders.
You're right.
I'm sorry.
Really the best picture contender.
Because for Dune, for me, it's like, Don't Look Up, maybe it's not the best performances, but you have the DiCaprio and Lawrence, which are big stars, and they've been nominated for many Oscars and have won.
Meryl Streep.
But Dune, how you nominate Dune? What's the performance that you get from Dune? You know the ensemble? No,
Rebecca Ferguson.
When I mean that performance, is that performance. Like the one that highlights everything. The one that elevates the film in the terms of acting, all the technical things.
Skarsgård,
I don't see that for Dune.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac. They're all good now. They're all good.
Oh no, that's why they're all good. They're all good because they're good actors, but there's no performance that you say, "Oh my god, this just blew me away."
I will say, you look back at that case though of previous winners. Look at Trial of the Chicago 7. Look at Parasite, Black Panther. Okay, 3 Billboards. Yeah, that got a lot of. Okay, well, I won't count that one, but at least those past 3. I don't remember there being a single performance where people were like, "Yes, that's the one that I'm gravitating towards." For instance, Trial of the Chicago 7. Yes, Tasha Baron Cohen got a nomination for supporting actor, but I don't think people were like, "Yes, this is the best supporting performance of the year." They were like, "He's a great representation for the ensemble," at least from what I gathered from it, because everyone did great work there. Parasite and Black Panther, I don't think there was a singular person who was like, yes, it was an ensemble. It was a group of people that worked well, really together to build stuff up. And I think Dune might be that. So that's a valid point. There is no singular fantastic performance, but I think as an ensemble, they build each other up. So that's why I think that Dune may get in. It's like my 7th at the moment, so it's a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, Dune. See, that's the difference. You got to remember, Dune's not going to be. This is its shot, I believe. This is its shot for the SAGs is ensemble because it's not going to get in anything else. So if it gets in anywhere, it's going to get in ensemble. It's more of a critic's choice or an Oscar film because of all the below the line categories. So that's where Dune kind of really lands as far as all that goes.
Also, one last thing is that SAG likes comedy ensembles too. Good news for Don't Look Up and The French Dispatch. So yeah, we could totally see that as well too, because they are the type of people who will go above and beyond for ensemble pieces. Look back at Crazy Rich Asians comedy that made it in there too. I'm trying to figure out what else was there, but they definitely are along the lines of like they did Bridesmaids, so they like to have those outside of the box picks. So finally, let's wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to give you what my 5 currently are for ensemble, and then Malcolm, Dan, Abe, and we're wrapping this thing up. For my 5 for ensemble are, in no particular order, we have, I'm trying to think, I don't have my notes, I'm trying to remember by memory. I have Belfast. I have The Power of the Dog. I have Don't Look Up, and I have Coda. And The Harder They Fall. Malcolm?
I have Power of the Dog, Don't Look Up, The French Dispatch, Belfast, and House of Gucci.
Dan?
And I have Belfast, Power of the Dog, Don't Look Up, Nightmare Alley, and Dune.
And Abe?
I have, well, give me a second. The Power of the Dog, Don't Look Up, Coda, Belfast, and West Side Story.
I was about to say, if there was quickly, what is everyone's 6 at the moment? For my 6 is West Side Story. What's your 6, Malcolm?
I don't really have a 6.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I would say like my 6 would be West Side Story.
Makes sense. And then Dan?
If I had my 6 would be Harder They Fall, 7th, French Dispatch.
And then Abe, what's your 6?
House of Gucci.
There you go. House of Gucci. Watch that be the case. And last question, what movie missing here hurts the most if it misses 4 Oscars? Well, I think I think Don't Look Up missing an ensemble would be pretty detrimental because then it misses every single SAG possibility. That'll really hurt its chances because it's already on the fringe. I think it's like 9 right now for my best picture, maybe 10. So I think it's on the fringe. What do you think, Malcolm? What do you think hurts?
I'm inclined to say maybe West Side Story, because like if West Side Story misses here, like it could only be Ariana DeBose that could maybe be the one that gets a nomination at the Oscars.
That's true. Dan?
I mean, I'm not thinking about Dune because that's not gonna. It's not has not gonna. I would say like a Belfast or a Power of the Dog. If it doesn't here, oh boy, better look out. That'd be like, forget about it. You know?
I will say, to the caveat of Power of the Dog, if it makes it in all the acting categories but not ensemble, like Dylan said, I will be like, okay, I get it. They just decided to go along a la Marriage Story. So I will get that if it brings in all those other below the line ones.
But if Belfast doesn't get in here, oh boy.
Yeah. Shocking.
I mean, in saying that, with Belfast, I'd say if Belfast doesn't get an ensemble, but it at least gets in the acting ones as well, I'll just like Power of the Dog, I'd probably say like I get it.
Yes. There you go. And finally, Abe, what movie would hurt the most?
That's a great question. I think Coda. Like, there's people that still hope for Coda's Best Picture nomination. Like, if it doesn't get a sample, like, chances are over. You should have a different answer from anybody else.
Yeah, that's true.
And might as well just dig the hole.
Yeah. Licorice Pizza. I'd have a hard time seeing Licorice Pizza make it in because the ensemble's so sporadic. But you guys think differently?
Yeah, that's not the biggest ensemble of major big name stars, whereas some of these other films have like ensembles of better stars, or it's a more of a tight ensemble. You got what? Ilana Heim and Cooper Hoffman are the main. You might get John C. Reilly in there. You might get Bradley Cooper in there as part of the ensemble.
Benny Safdie.
Sean Penn. So it's not like a tight ensemble like Coda.
No,
Mass,
it's very vignette.
Belfast, Power of the Dog, those 4, 5, 6.
I'd be shocked.
People, you know?
That'd help a lot. If it got in, you'd know that there'd be a lot of love for it.
Yeah.
If it missed, not surprising.
Yeah.
All right. So we were wrapping up here now. Malcolm, where can they find you?
You can find me over on Tape Free Productions, where I host Rankum every Saturday night. Next week's episode is going to be top 12 spy movies of the 2010s. And you can also find me over on Full Metal. I host Full Metal Random. And this week is going to be a Disney Animation Championship.
Fantastic. And Dan?
You can always find me at disappointmentmedia.com, where I write about all kinds of things from new movies, tributes like I just did yesterday about Sidney Poitier. We're doing a Criterion special thing this year. So, but just all kinds of different stuff, TV shows. Also, my own blog, from the fourth row.wordpress.com. So if I'm not writing for Disappointment Media, I'm writing for From the Fourth Row. Also, my name, Dan Skip Allen, on all your social medias. And Gone with the Wind, popping up on a few podcasts here. You know.
And Abe, where can they find you?
You can follow me trying to figure out what happened to my camera, and on Twitter at AbrahamF25.
And you can find me at Twitter at Cine_man. That's CINE_MANN, as well as Letterboxd at Manning_Franks, and WFY News 2 on our YouTube page, and on air, where I do News 2 reviews for our Greensboro news station. This coming one next week will be Summer of Soul, so look forward to that as I kind of gush about it, because I haven't gushed about a movie in a good while. And don't forget, the Golden Globes are in fact tonight, so Watch those. Wait. Oh, you can't because it's not viewable. Look out for that press release, guys. Can you wait for that press release?
View it on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. View it on Twitter. And which film do you think is most likely to go empty-handed at the Oscars? Writes Josephine. Well, Mass.
I hate to say it, but I agree.
My heart is now broken.
I hate to say it, but I actually agree. Even though I have it predicted in some of these SAG categories.
Eternals. I'll make the safe bet.
Yes, that is the case. But if we're talking about real legit Oscar contenders, there is a time where Belfast could actually go home empty-handed. There is a possibility Belfast could actually not win, maybe. Because
Belfast
Kieran
is getting
Hines,
some Oscar categories. It may not win anything, but it's getting
Agreed. To go home empty-handed for the Oscars, Belfast is the least likely to do as such, mainly because Troy Kotzer could win supporting actor, take away from Kieran Hines. For screenplay, you could have one of the other ones like Licorice Pizza taking it, or you could have director go to Jane Campion. So yeah, it could go home empty-handed, but we'll see. All right, so thank you guys for listening. And you can follow here on Gone with the Wind on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you get your podcasts. Please rate and review us. And of course, you can find us here on Take 3 Productions hosting. Mainly, this is our first live show of the year. I mean, literally the season and the year. So we'll hopefully do more of these in the future. Thank you guys, and we'll hope to see y'all very soon. Have a good day or night.